The only issue with this intro, I think, is that for my regular audience, you know, for the people who might be in the stream or you know, watch all of my videos, this is like basic shit, you know? Like, everyone knows Gridshot sucks. And I was kind of hoping... I had two ideas to make sure that people knew, like, no, I'm not just going to flame Gridshot for 38 minutes. And part of that was the runtime. Like, you know, it's a 38-minute video. Of course, I'm not just going to flame Gridshot the entire time. And then the other is a line, which comes up in a second. This is exactly why so many people are so polarized about aim training and its effectiveness. I'm sure there are some who haven't tried them and dismiss the concept entirely, but there are absolutely others who did give them a go in good faith and didn't find success. And in their case, I think most of them are just misusing the tool. I love this bit of footage. The worst part is that it's not even his fault, especially when the intuitive path people take when training has so much room for error. I love how this playlist is just like the devil playlist, you know, like sensitivity plus or Excel equals aim lock, 59 videos. And I haven't looked at the playlist and I got some comments like, why are you hating on raw Excel so much? Like, I don't think it's that bad. Like, as a program, I actually think what it does to people is dangerous because it's like, all you have to do is get your Excel config right.
Yeah.
And you'll be like an aimbot, and that's not true. That's not how it works.
I saw somebody in your comments who was like a reformed Excel content creator. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Talking about like how he used to make videos on custom curve and he would get a bunch of views, but now that he doesn't use Excel anymore, he doesn't get the same viewership. But I guess it does speak to an audience on Valorant that's looking for a solution.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the mind trap that Excel puts you into.
Yeah, and you mentioned this back in your Excel video. Like, if you change settings a lot, there's going to be like a black hole of just like infinite customization, infinite variables.
Speaking from experience there. I don't think it's necessarily laziness. I think that it's very natural to want to have immediate progression and see tools that seem to offer that.
Yeah.
And do that sort of thing. I kind of fell into that sort of thing recently when I was looking for getting back into speed cubing. There's like a bunch of alternate methods that are like a little bit easier to pick up, but it's never going to be faster than just like doing it properly.
So have you gone back to your previous method? Or?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Well, yeah, never mind.
Let's save the more advanced stuff for later then and start there. So that line only exists to like signal to my viewers like, hey, don't worry guys, I'm gonna talk about basic stuff for a little. I'll get to it. You know, just trust me on this one. It feels validating if there's a tool you didn't know about that separates you from those that are better. Yeah, it kind of runs adjacent to that like genetically gifted line of thinking, you know? It's like, oh, they're just doing this. They just have this. I don't have this. That's why I'm not as good. And it's like, it is a anti-productive, a counterproductive way of thinking about improvement, because let's say someone they have all the best peripherals, they are genetically gifted, and that does matter in this hypothetical. There will still be things that they're doing that you're not, you know? And saying it's just Excel or genetics or the peripherals, whatever, it shuts off that line of thinking. With the intuitive path for newcomers and the mistakes people might make along it. Don't ask how long this took. Gridshot is a lot of people's introduction to aim training, but I think most know now that just playing it alone won't get you anywhere. The targets are far too large to train any kind of fine control, and having to click this quickly makes it too specific of a skill for it to be broadly applicable. I'm actually really proud of my fucking Gridshot gameplay. I kind of locked in. I'm really bad at Gridshot. For it to be broadly applicable. You need scenarios that actually push you to develop as a player by challenging you, targeting skills that are important for the game you play, and addressing your mechanical weaknesses within those skills. But if you don't know what those scenarios are or how to find them, how do you figure out what to play? I really like how that edit turned out with the scenarios like coming out of the middle of the screen. It looked like ethereal, which kind of matches the vibe of the music. Did you ever go back to Hollow Knight when talking about more advanced stuff? I don't think so. I used one Hollow Knight song actually, but I don't think I mentioned the game again.
I think the main crux of the edit was the idea of an intuitive path. And that was like the starting area.
Yeah, intuitive path, I wrote that and then I'm like, oh wait, green path, and then I'm walking along a path and it's not in green path, but who cares? The answer most people turn to is playlists, and it makes sense why. The alternative certainly seems daunting, and playlists look like they offer an easy solution. You don't need to think about what certain scenarios do or how they relate to what you need as a player. Just run through this every day and your training will be complete. Here's the frame cut, guys. And to be honest,
Did you know that
was frame cut? Training back in 2020, I had not thought about any of that stuff. The concepts of mechanical weaknesses or there being different elements to aim was completely alien to me. All I know is that people said to play playlists, so I did. And compared to Gridshot, which is what I was playing before, the scenarios looked way more effective. For 2 weeks straight, I went through the same list of 15 scenarios for... I got a comment saying like, cool Easter egg using some of your old Kovacs video scenarios. Yeah, which I thought was really funny.
Oh no. It's just like old bad scenarios.
It was just like old bad scenarios.
Or maybe not even bad, just like the ones that got played a lot.
Yeah, I also asked you, and you said like Rex Stove's Kata, which I probably wouldn't have put in otherwise.
Yeah.
Why don't you lower your Windows mouse speed instead of DPI? There's no real reason to. I don't play FPS anymore, but even if I did, like, you know, they do the same thing. Thank you so much for making the Viscose benchmarks. No worries, I am so happy with how Season 2 turned out. I thought it was well worth all the time I put into it. But yeah, I had a fun time going through and doing like fake bad gameplay of all of these like ancient scenarios, and it was a fun little challenge to create like a period appropriate playlist. I felt like, you know, the historical like live action recreations. I was doing that with the Kovacs. Times each. Still
Are there any
completing my hour of practice.
pretty good stuff?
I think Pad-TS is okay. I think Reflex Click Fair is okay. I think CFSI is okay if you're really good.
It's very validating that scenario is still hard. Because
yeah.
it made me so emo to be so bad at it back then.
Yeah, and I also use the default Kovacs visuals whenever I'm trying to signify like old gameplay, which I think is a cool visual detail. Do you not even play FPS games to get clips? I can't really. But yeah, I haven't played probably since November. It's been a while. And after the 2 weeks was up, I quit aim training. What happened? It was helping me improve, but not as much as I'd expected given just how much time I was putting in. And considering how boring playing the same scenarios every day over and over was, it just didn't seem worth it compared to training in-game. But clearly I didn't quit back in 2020 because 3 months later I found the voltaic benchmarks. I wanted to give them like more of an angelic like glow, but it didn't really work.
The benchmarks?
Yeah, I wanted this to like just radiate light across the whole screen, but I couldn't figure it out.
Maybe if you made the glow like move.
Maybe. What's your main game right now? I have been playing, well, for the past 2 weeks I've been playing nothing. Actually, I figured it out. I played like 10 hours of video games in the past 2 weeks, and like 5 of that was like Slay the Spire on my Steam Deck in bed, and I think the other 5 were like random games for footage. Like I played like some Skyrim to get the kill on Nazim. I played some COD 1 because I needed COD 1 footage that I ended up scrapping. Do you think Voltaic is still a good place for new players to start? Yes, but I think my benches are better. I'm allowed to say that I made them. Even when playing a playlist instead of Gridshot, I was holding onto one of the issues that scenario caused. I was autopiloting, not thinking about what I was doing or why I was doing it. The benchmarks gave me the structure to be more introspective about my practice. They made it very easy to tell what parts of my aim needed work based on which scores were higher or lower, and simply playing the scenarios helped bring those weaknesses up to the level of my strongest points. The scenarios here were also a lot harder than the ones I was playing previously, but that difficulty was a good thing. It made me focus more and really figure out why I couldn't do what the scenario was asking of me. This is what I think the first group of people who quit aim training needed to progress further. The benchmarks very fundamentally changed how I view aiming as a whole and shifted my perspective on what practice should be for me. Less of an emphasis on rigid daily checklists and more of a focus on dynamically selecting what to play based on what I needed at the time. Yes, I did intentionally sync those USP shots of the music. I intend that really well. I don't know, I think that segment is definitely one of the ones for like advanced players. Well, the advanced players who are watching this will be like, yeah, duh, we know this. But I do think it's necessary setup, and it goes along with my goal of like, I wanted everyone to relate to something in this video. I wanted everyone to have a point that they could like pick out and be like, yeah, I've experienced this too. And I think I was successful. And a part of that is having these like early lessons that a lot of people will be able to go like, oh, I'm doing this, or oh, I've had this happen, you know? So I think it's like kind of maybe a bit slow, but I think it works okay. Plus, like the editing is nice enough to hopefully keep people engaged. Do you think easy tracking scenarios are better for training tracking and hard dynamic better for training? I think it's both for both, you know? I touch on this later in the video, but they do different things at a very foundational level, and you will get benefits from playing both easier and harder scenarios all the way up, you know? And what is easier and what is harder is relative. Like an easier scenario for me will not be an easier scenario for someone brand new, obviously, but the perspective still applies, I guess. I relate to being tortured by my pollen allergy. Oh, it's been pretty rough for me and you both, June. Not necessarily pollen. I think it's mostly dust for me. Dust and mold I'm horribly allergic to. That's not to say that playlists are always bad though. This mentality shift actually let me reintroduce them, but this time in a mindful way. After trying out the voltaic benchmarks, I started looking for playlists that actually targeted my weak areas. That might have been a bit too fast to notice. I think a lot of the edits in this video kind of suffer from that. Like, there's a lot going on in a lot of them that probably isn't observed. Like that was reactive conditioning playlist, which is a prediction cancelling playlist, and then I'm predicting really hard in this clip. Are you talking about the easy, intermediate, or hard benches? I'm talking about, yeah, subjective difficulty to yourself. For me right now, I would say like an easier scenario is like medium difficulty season 2 my benches, and then a harder scenario is like expert difficulty. Does aim training burn calories? Probably not significantly. Unlike my previous one, which was just general scenarios. The Kovacs website has a search function where you can either search by creator or by keywords to find something that will help you specifically instead of something designed to be decent generally. I don't know why I made this. I have no idea why I made this. I was trying to think actually. My footage notes were like someone singling something out of a crowd. And I sat there for probably a good 5 minutes before I just thought like, oh, the doo-doo scene in Witcher 3. And from then on I'm like, okay, we're doing this now. We're doing this stupid edit. It didn't take that long. Something that will help you specifically instead of something designed to be decent generally. Wind's howling. It probably took 25 minutes, which is like like pretty good considering I think all of them look pretty well like keyframed. Find something that will help you specifically. I love it. Something designed. I don't know why I did this, but I love it. This, of course, is not the only way to structure your practice, but I do think it's a very strong framework to start with. Playing benchmarks to figure out what areas you're weakest in before finding playlists or individual scenarios help you train those weaknesses up to the level of your strongest points before repeating the process with your new weakest area. I designed my benchmarks specifically to encourage and expand this feedback loop. If this structure sounds like something that would appeal to you, I have a full video about them if you're interested. This is actually one of the things that I didn't realize until I had put the video together, but there is 2 points in the video where I talk about other videos of mine, and it does kind of come off like the typical YouTuber thing, like, go watch this other video, go watch this other video. I didn't mean it like that though. It's just like these things came up naturally in the writing process, and it's like, well, I could spend 10 minutes repeating all my points, or I could just point them over. But yeah, I got one comment about it, like, oh, this is just the video to promote your organization. What fucking organization are you talking about? But I think it was okay. I don't think it really bothered most people, because the first time it happens is 6 minutes into the video. Next time is like here or something. The Visco Syndicate. Maybe I shouldn't talk about this on stream. There is a group of people who get very angry with me whenever anything happens that they don't like within VM training space. Yeah, Visco Squad. and whenever anyone gets banned, whether I was involved in their banning or not, oh, the Visco Squad. The Visco Squad got them. The Visco Squad got them banned. Like, it's fucking crazy.
It's actually like equivalent to the woke.
It's so funny. Yeah, Visco's controlling Big Aim. Do you think it's odd to point at S1? Well, I can't really point to my S2 video because it doesn't exist yet. And I'm not gonna, like, you know, wait to point it, because the season 2 video, I mentioned it at the end, and maybe that was a mistake, because I think that video is at least 3 months away, if not like 5 months away. It's gonna take a very long time. And I didn't want to wait to mention, yeah, I will have a video in 5 months if you want to learn about the season 2 benches. What are the differences between season 2 and season 1? So, there are slightly more clicking tasks with an emphasis on micro-clicking focus scenarios to make the benchmarks more suited to Valorant players. There is a lot of tracking scenarios that have been swapped out for different or even all new scenarios created specifically for this benchmark by Robin Wobbin, by the way. And most of the ones that haven't have had alterations made to them to make them fit the goals of the subcategory better. Reactive has undergone a lot of changes to better match the skill sets of the games that most heavily index the subcategory rather than being focused on what reactive scenarios helped me personally. There are 2 new difficulties. Expert above the harder benchmark set is for incredibly skilled players looking to test themselves and enter a very different set of benchmarks below. Easier. These are people who are brand new to aim training and focus on the most essential foundations. They're a lot more compressed, which should make these less overwhelming. To compensate for expert being added, the difficulty of the scenarios of easier, medium, and hard have been decreased. There are also new ranks in all 3 difficulties. And I will add a bunch of scenario descriptions. There you go. I'm not gonna post this script on Discord. Terms and conditions apply. Yeah, I had a whole video script for the question. There you go, that is the changes. I think season 2 is a lot better. I think it's more fun. I think it offers you more ways to approach practice, and I think it is more suited for more games. I think reactive works better for Overwatch. I think clicking works better for Valorant. I kind of made it with how it would translate to different games in mind for like the most applicable categories. I think it turned out really well. I love it. And yeah, it's not done. I still need to do entry skill targets. I need to do some rebalances, which I've been putting off because I wanted to work on the video. Yeah, I think it's good. Will there ever be another podcast episode? Do you want to talk about this one?
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident there will be as well.
Probably a good time too in the near future.
Yeah, especially because I'm free from
Yeah.
hell now.
You've been pretty deep into a project.
Oh, this was probably the worst I've ever been. For like obsessively working on a video.
No, I don't think so.
It was the one that made me feel the worst.
Okay.
There was one day when like I woke up from a nap and I came out and sat on the couch and my heart rate was just like pounding. Like 120 beats per minute and it would not stop. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'll work on the video. And it was only when I sat down and started to work on the video that it settled down and became normal again. It was having like a physical impact on me just because of how overdue it was.
It's also another thing I don't think I told you, where you were like half awake when you get into this like semi-delirious state.
Yeah.
And you told me like, I'm so excited to wake up tomorrow so I can work on the video.
Yeah, it got really bad, and I'm taking a bit of time off now. We might go up to Sydney. I want to take you to the Sydney Zoo. A lot of my video ideas come from when I'm in some kind of like half asleep state though. Well, I'll talk about it when we get to it. Next video is going to be in like a year. No, I'm not doing another project this big for quite a while. And the one that is a big project, which is the season 2 video, I'm paying someone to edit for me. So all I have to do is write and record that one. And I'll be free to work on whatever else I feel like. Is there even stuff to still talk about? Less, but there is for sure. My main ideas at the moment are a video on muscle groups. Because I was thinking about this the other day. I feel like you can, when looking at AIM as a whole, in terms of what you do, you know, not looking at the actual what's wrong with the aiming motions, like what do you do to produce those aiming motions? There are 3 parts, and it's like tension management, movement reading, and muscle group utilization. And I've talked about 2, and I haven't talked about muscle groups at all. And there is a lot of like disambiguation that I need to do there. So it probably needs a video. And then I want to make a video kind of talking about a broader, unified theory of AIM. But I don't know how I'm going to approach that one yet. Do you feel like you'll ever run out of ideas? Absolutely, if I kept making AIM videos, but I don't plan on it. You know, I don't want to just be making like beginner's guide to AIM, like version 8, Excel video 5, you know, I don't want to do that. When the new video came out, I could have sworn I heard the Fortnite chest noise and I opened my YouTube. But yeah, I don't think I can make these videos forever, and I don't plan on it. I'll probably branch out at some point. What to? Don't know. Figure that out as we go. But it's not gonna, like, I have at least another year of video ideas, especially if they take fucking 5 months to make again.
I'm sure a lot of them will come back organically too, as people ask you
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah. No, I don't want to have another 5-month gap. A lot of it was, like, we moved in that 5 months. And working on a project like this while moving is like a nightmare. Shimmy video was so cool and fun to watch. That might still be, like, I think this is a better video. I think experientially that one might still be my favorite. I think it turned out so well. Alright, my throat's getting tired. I'm gonna let the video play. As for playlists, like any other tool, they can be great if used correctly, and I personally play through them to find scenarios that I think are useful, but you can't just search best Kovacs playlists for Valorant and expect to be training. When making this video, I had written, when I was writing the script for this, I wrote like Vlornat into the script. And I was gonna correct it, but then I'm like, fuck it, I'll just read out Vlornat and then I'll type it into Google as my typo. And I had both in Premiere and I was going back and forth. I'd like completed edits of both versions and I decided on Valorant because I thought it would be too distracting if like in the middle of my point I just like read out, you know, best Kovacs playlist for Vlornat and just don't acknowledge it at all. I think it would have been funny, but I think it would have been distracting.
Didn't you like immediately get a comment about Valorant? What was it about again?
Yeah, I had someone ask like, okay, cool video, but can you tell me the best playlist for Valorant? I was like, oh no, it didn't work.
I definitely would not have gone to that point yet.
In the most effective way. One criticism that I have heard of this approach is that it doesn't really make sense if you only play one specific game. For example, if you only play Valorant, what is the purpose of tracking or evasive target switching scenarios? Why not just only play micro adjustment tasks instead, since those movements are far more common in games? I absolutely get the mentality behind this skepticism. It's probably the same type that created the common criticism of grid shot. And I had a few tries at this. The fucking circle movement matching grid shot edit. And I kept killing people. Like, I kept getting kills.
It's like new recoil smoothing tech.
Maybe. When's the next upload? I don't know. I'm gonna... This video has been like bad for me because I now know that I can make an 8-minute long edit that's really good in like 6 days. And that's bad knowledge. You know, that's like... You don't want to know that. I'm trying to do the fucking circle aiming and they just walk into my crosshair. That happened twice, by the way. And... Oh shit, that's the Twitter version. I was like here? It created the
this is the new
criticism of
meta,
grid shot.
by the way.
And while it sort of makes sense there, it doesn't fully apply here, in my opinion. What those people are missing is just how interconnected aiming is as a skill. At the end of the day, all aiming is, regardless of the form it takes, is interpreting what you see and moving your hand to match.
I really like that edit.
This definition
simple
doesn't
looking.
discriminate between types of aim, which explains why practicing tracking can help your click timing, even though the two seem to be entirely disconnected. Tracking builds smaller sub-skills that transfer over, which includes anything from the actual aiming motions themselves in the form of micro-adjustments, to being able to actively read the position of a target and how they will move. That's not to say that every scenario is equally
I love
useful
this edit.
for
I don't know
every
why I
game,
decided to do
and
that
there are
either,
certainly some
but I
parts
love
of
it.
the Voltaic benchmarks or my benchmark that I think
I don't know
we
if it
should
makes
commit.
sense. I don't know if like is a better scenario going to be heavier if you put them on a scale compared to a less suited scenario? I have no idea, but I think it works.
More time too if you do only play Valorant, but to avoid a type of scenario completely just because it doesn't look like an engagement you would see in game is another mistake I see newcomers make a lot. Aiming is full of unexpected links and connections, like static improving my dynamic clicking or target switching improving my tracking. I've often found that even if the benefits aren't immediately apparent, playing other types of scenarios will help bring up my best categories too.
Yeah, that is me.
I don't think I used anyone else's Valorant clips in this video, but if I do, I put their little tag at the bottom. Anything else is me. A speedrun video.
Like a personal one or like
I
a
don't know.
summoning salt one?
Yeah. I think I could make a summoning salt style video, but it's like, why
What would
would
it be
I?
for?
I don't know.
I feel like not quite deep enough in any speedrunning community. But if you
Yeah.
picked one up, there could be something there.
Yeah, definitely. And I also would like to speedrun Doom Eternal, but, you know, it's a lot of effort, and I also cannot play FPS.
There's gotta be a video about like why the #1 speedrunner of Doom Eternal uses this device. It's the fucked up evil Azer on call.
Wait, that's good. That's good. Someone make that. Someone in chat steal that idea.
The problem is, I think he doesn't really use it for the analog capabilities. I think he uses it for the binds primarily.
Interesting.
Oh, but yeah, why everybody's switching to this device? Because he's like converting people.
You ever play any Souls games? Yeah, I've been playing, I've beaten Bloodborne, Lies of P, Elden Ring. I'm almost through DS1, I think. And I'm playing DS3 on stream at the moment. So I will probably do another DS3 stream pretty soon.
Why do you think everyone's switching to ZBLL?
I don't know what that is.
That's the algorithm stuff. It's like 600 algorithms for the last layer.
Oh god. Backwards mouse tag. That was one of the video ideas that I've had that I might actually end up going through with, is about like Souls games not made by FromSoft. Because I think there are a lot of them that are really good and a bit slept on. I feel like they're kind of dismissed as like, you know, lesser.
Mm-hmm.
And like a lot of the time they are, but they do things better. When I was working on this video, I split it into 4 parts. I've never done that before with a video, but I'm glad I did because it let me have like tangible progress. Like, okay, I've completed part 2. That was part 1. Most of part 2, I think part 2, was edited on a trackball, especially the back half of part 2. So the editing's a little bit worse in some parts here, but I don't know if people really noticed. And I think it wasn't that much worse, it just took me a lot longer to do. Have you seen the Basically Titanfall 2? Is that Impulse? I'm probably gonna play it. Impulse, when does it come out? 3 hours.
Oh, goodness.
I probably will play it. I don't know if I'm gonna stream it. I might. I'll see how my aim is. My hand is as well. I'm not that optimistic about it though. I don't want to be too mean to the game, especially because I haven't tried it yet. But I feel like a lot of good movement shooters come from emergent mechanics, and you know, that's not to say that you can't make a good movement shooter intentionally. Titanfall 2 was one, but it feels like this game was trying to replicate a lot of the emergent behavior, and I don't know if it works. I don't know if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
The servers feel like they run on redstone.
Well, that's a great comment.
Do you still play? I played a bit of Apex for getting footage. It was actually the first shooter I'd played since like November. And I liked it, I had a good time, so I might play more.
It was interesting seeing Ricky try Impulse, and then, you know, you'd get one clip by like the most insane track ever. Like, holy shit, who is this? And you go to their stream and it's a controller player. And for Ricky, that was like a novel experience. But complaining about it in the, or just talking about it in the Raw Input back channel, our Apex players were like, yeah, that's just how it is. They're like completely desensitized to having to fighting, you know, actual aimbots on the day-to-day.
You know, I always thought you're British. Do I sound more British in my videos or my streams? Because I don't think I sound that like Australian in my videos, but I do think I sound pretty Aussie when I'm just like talking. So, is Final still alive? Not in Australia, but Australia. Definitely in like other regions.
Bronze one.
No, I get it. I definitely sound more British in my videos than I do normally. I don't think I sound British, but I sound more British.
Your sister sounds quite British, actually.
She does.
I don't really know how that happened.
No, me neither. Because, like, she's Australian, grew up in Australia, watches American YouTubers. So maybe it was like some coalescing of the accents. like you combine the two British colonies and you get in Britain. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how that happens, but she definitely does sound like there's posh Aussie and then there's what my sister sounds like. More American than British? I don't think I sound American.
That might be iron.
Don't be mean. Don't be mean. Have you been playing much STS2? I think I've got 50 hours at the moment. Let me see. Yeah, 50 hours. I've done A10 on Silent and Defect. Defect was really fun. And I'm level Ascension 7 on Necrobinder and Ironclad. And I haven't tried the Regent yet. I'm liking it though. It's fun. And with every update I think the game gets better. But like, oh my god, the Act 3 bosses now, they just keep getting harder. Like the fucking the guy who copied the STS1 Act 3 elites got super buffed.
Really?
Yeah. He's so hard now. He'll hit you for like 70 damage if you don't kill him quick enough on phase 2. And the new one that replaced the door is so hard. They made it so you specifically have to salt for the bosses. It feels like sometimes, like, if I build into, like, Osti, and I get the new boss that replaced the door, it feels like I just can't kill it. Because, like, Osti damage is, like, a little slow. Unless you get, like, Osti plus Reaper form, I guess. Then it can be kind of fast. Are you getting hydrated in this godforsaken heat? I need some of the heat. It's so fucking cold here. It's been freezing. Yeah, it has been so cold. It was like, when I got up this morning, I think it was like a degree outside. Jean seems like an Osti abuser. No, you would never hurt Osti. I hurt Osti.
I would never.
That one card that kills Osti and does like 14 damage, 14 block for 1 is crazy. You combo it with the like soul summon power and you can just like kill him, summon, kill him, summon, kill him, summon. Osti's just low, don't be mean to him. Are there any skates you recommend? I have the Jades and Artisan Dots, but I'm looking for something new. I'm gonna hand this over to you. I found the Artisan Dots and I stopped using any other skate. I don't care about anything else anymore.
To be honest, I still can't find a better one for cloth. Every time I go back, I'm like, damn, this is like what I want out of cloth. But some other good ones. Westlab Orange, pretty hyped. Mostly on glass though. Talon Games Kumo, pretty well liked. What else is there? TBTL Control V2, not a control skate for some reason. That's probably my favorite of those.
They were a pretty good one though.
Yeah.
I think I tried them. Artisan P6. I don't think I've tried them yet. I'll probably buy some when that new. Is it a pink zero or did I dream that?
No, it's real. It's real.
That's awesome.
We will definitely be getting a boatload of those.
I thought I made that up. I thought I dreamed it because I'm like, there's no way they made the.
The problem with the pink zero is that like you see it, you want to buy 5, right?
Yeah.
But what if it's not as good as the orange? Then you're stuck with pink.
That too. Are skates really that much of a game changer over stock? Yes, I'm gonna say so. I think I've tried using stock skates since and they are a lot worse. I think it's comparable to like a slight mousepad upgrade. But what if you're a few months into aim training and have seen some improvements there, but are struggling to translate that improvement over, maybe even seeing a decrease in skill or rank in-game? I think this is where a lot of those good faith skeptics of aim trainers reach. They get to a decent skill level, hit a plateau, and give up. This is, in my opinion, where the real meat of this topic is. I love that clip. I got a comment saying like, you better not have done that first try, and I kind of did. This idea did it come to me like in my sleep or practically asleep. I'm like, I should do it in Skyrim. I should look at like the venison or something. And then I think you suggested like killing an NPC.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I'm like, it has to be Nazim. This is, in my opinion, where the real meat of this topic is. Even though a decrease in skills sounds like it and certainly feels like a bad thing, I've found that the deepest kind of weakness identification comes from realizations prompted by plateaus. Picking out a mistake or absent element of your training, revealing the missing piece that was preventing you from actually implementing your aim into games. You have to look at plateaus as a chance for growth instead of just a state you are currently in. I played through the entire beginning of Sekiro for this footage.
What do you think this footage is supposed to mean?
Yeah, what is? How does chat interpret this? Because I don't think it makes sense at all. I don't like it. How often did you quit out of Kovacs for this video? I was worried I overused that edit. Not getting past the boss and giving up, Sekiro hard. Okay, that's acceptable. If people are reading it like that, that's totally fine.
It's not right though.
I specifically chose this boss because otherwise I would have done Ganishiro. I chose it because he has a move where he slams you into the ground and sends you flying. So I wanted to use that to like ascend to a higher location.
But you fall first before.
Yeah, before going back up. Yeah, exactly. And I don't think anyone is gonna pick up on that on first watch. But who cares?
Yeah, this boss almost killed the genre for you, actually.
Yeah, it did. This boss took me, I think, second longest of any boss in the game. And it took about 2 hours, and I was not having fun because like the previous Ashina Elite, I was getting it. I was like hitting the parries. I was having a good time, and then they threw this fucking idiot at me who has bullshit hitbox grabs that are broken, and I was not enjoying it at all. And I'm like, maybe I'm not cut out for this genre, you know? Maybe I'm not good enough for Sekiro.
That's when you were still not sure if you wanted to use keyboard or mouse or controller as well.
Yeah. The bull was the most frustrating. This is the fucking Sekiro experience, because I first tried the bull on my first playthrough, and I said to myself after, like, I think if I died to that guy like twice, I would have quit the game. I'm coming back from somewhat of a non-consistent playing phase and definitely left name training for over 5 months. My hands feel heavy and stale. I don't know if you've felt that, but you have any ideas on how to feel the fluidity that I had when I started to train a while ago. There are a lot of potential reasons for that. I think the first thing to iron out is that it could just be rust. Like, if I play now, I will do bad, but it's because I haven't played in like 7 months, and it wouldn't take that long to, you know, shake off the rust. Is it like a pain thing, or I don't know. What do you make of that?
Could be any number of things.
That's the
yeah. It's like my car isn't running correctly.
Yeah.
You know.
It might be worth asking in the Rompet Discord. They might be able to, you know, troubleshoot your problem a little more, but it's not really something I can do on stream. Sorry. I've had multiple of these over my time playing. Long periods of stagnation into epiphanies into very dramatic improvements very quickly. There are a lot of things in these videos that take a lot of time to do, and no one will notice because the point is to not notice. But this one pissed me off the most. There was some guy with the N-word in his Steam name here, and I was proof watching the video, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't have that in the video. So I spent like 10 minutes trying different censoring effects that didn't draw attention to it. And that 10 minutes, I was fucking pissed. Because, like, this idiot 6 years ago made his Steam name that, and now I have to waste time censoring his fucking bullshit. I was not happy. But no one noticed, and it's impossible to notice because there's no name there. The most common reason behind this is that plateaus themselves can be a sign of that growth. When you first expand your knowledge and try to implement new techniques into your gameplay, it should be expected for your overall performance to take a dip. I've had this recently with typing. I'm trying to learn to hit spacebar with my thumb instead of my index finger. Yes, I actually used my index finger. This is objectively better technique. It minimizes finger movement overall and in the long run will make me a much faster typist. But right now I'm struggling. That transition, when I had the idea for that, I'm like, yes, this is gonna be so good. Struggling badly with
And
every
turned out
other
really
aspect
well.
of typing, not just hitting space, because of how much focus typing like this takes for me. It's not the technique that's making me worse, it's the act of mastering it. This can also... And yeah, that is not an exaggeration. Like, I've failed to learn at this point. I've gone back to my old typing style, where I hit spacebar with my index, because hitting it with my thumb was too hard. And I will learn it at some point, but
You
like...
don't need to though. It's only for wrist health.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you're already like top 1%.
But I don't know. It's so bad that it has to be holding my speed back, right?
Yeah, but you don't really need to get new faster.
No, I don't. I don't.
It's only if you
Split
really-
ortho keyboard when I actually tried. What's your one?
Lily 58.
Lily 58. I tried it and loved it.
And then like
Um,
you're like, how much is this?
Yeah.
I think it's because you couldn't use index for space. Like it forced you to learn.
Yeah, yeah. Typing games you recommend? I play mostly Type Racer. It's really hard. You can't make any errors. You have to go back and correct them. And there's a lot of like punctuation. And you know, you have to type like, I don't know, like fucking this garbage sometimes. And it's fun because it's like a race and there's a competitive element and it tracks your stats over time. The only thing that pisses me off is when the quotes have incorrect grammar.
I was just thinking about this.
I will pass over it. Like, I don't know, let's say if it said like, what's a good example?
It was like an hereditary.
Yeah, and hereditary. And it's like, I type a hereditary. It's not the technique that makes you worse, it's the act of mastering it. Thank you. There are a few lines in this video that I think are super strong in that regard. The best is probably weakness creates preference. But there are a few other really good ones as well. And I haven't really had quotable lines in a video before now. So I'm happy with that.
I like that message.
But the right shift.
Yeah, because that implies you use it at all.
Yeah, good point. I don't use it.
I've tried maybe 5 keyboard layouts.
Yeah. So what, you got QWERTY, Workman, have you tried Dvorak?
No. I had Comac DH, Canary,
Semi-Mac,
Semi-Mac, yeah.
and Workman.
And Workman. I think I got all of them to 100. At least once.
Someone mentioned like slower skates in the chat. And I want your thoughts on that because I think slower skates are kind of terrible.
The problem is that like the skates have gotten so fast now that slower skates are becoming like the Janes. I definitely think you could use the normal obsidians and not really worry about it. But I do think trying to slow down glass with skates is tricky. Much more so than cloth. I think the static friction cost you get from slower skates on cloth is not as debilitating as glass.
Yeah. On glass it feels like you're defeating the purpose when Oh, and it makes me laugh when people go like, yeah, I'm a high skill gamer. I have good mouse control. I use the SkyPad. And then they're on like the Obsidian UHM, whatever the fuck it's called.
I will say though, XRPad has web skates called like the titanium U9s, and they're actually like, pretty decent.
Okay, I didn't know that.
I thought the material was like completely cooked, because like Black Fox is horrible. Obsidian Pro Air is the worst skates I've ever used, but.
Have you tried speedrunning Doom Eternal? No, I haven't, because of my hand. I really want to, and I probably will whenever I'm able. But yeah, I don't want to risk like doing anything with my hand right now, because I just push myself so hard to get the video done. And I need like a break from using my PC. To apply in a more zoomed out sense to aim training as a whole. Becoming aware of just how much depth there is in this one single area of FPS games can make that area your sole focus when trying to analyze your performance. This can look like taking note of specific mechanical details of why you didn't win a gunfight without realizing that you shouldn't have taken that fight in the first place. I like that segment.
Yeah, I think that's good.
I wonder if anyone actually like paused my notes, because I tried to write real notes. This can look like taking note of specific mechanical details of why you didn't win a gunfight. Like, I think those are like actual decent Butterby notes, you know, like I tried. And I wonder if anyone like paused this and were like, what were the notes there, you know?
Prayers are that bad as the ones that I use. Okay, I think Maddie used them on the Raiden for a long time, being the best.
You like them.
On glass, it's hit or miss, I guess. I find them really muddy, but if you like them, you like them. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just perfect. It's not gonna destroy you.
Without realizing that you shouldn't have taken that fight in the first place. Another way this can manifest is in how you balance your time. I have a general rule of thumb that if your goal is in-game improvement, you should spend at most 20% of your total daily playtime in an aim trainer. I stole this edit from a video that I made like 2 years ago. There's a Python library called Manim that is made by 3 Blue 1 Brown. He makes math educational videos. He saved my ass in fucking high school calculus. And I tried to learn it for a little because it was cool, and I made this edit with it. And I think it turned out really well, but I'm not doing it again, so I just stole it. But it is surprisingly really well. 3% of your total. He makes math educational videos. He saved my ass in fucking high school calculus. And I tried to learn it for a little because it was cool, and I made this edit with it. And I think it turned out really well, but I'm not doing it again, so I just stole it. But it is surprisingly common for people to go over that when they realize aim is something they need or want to improve at. Again, this doesn't mean that trying to improve your aim or your technique is a bad goal to have, just that it's important to not lose sight of the larger picture. Aim trainers also make issues in your technique easier. Oh, I still really don't like that very jarring voiceover transition. This audio is from like January, and the audio before this was from maybe a month ago. And I can tell when I listen to it, and it's really bad. But
it's not that bad.
No one has let me know that they've noticed. So I think it's compared to in-game, where the lack of any element. No one notices that? Thank God.
I think Joe's are actually pretty bad.
Joe's voiceover?
Yeah.
In his Shadow of the Edgery video, it's like,
They go to, like, an
I can
octave.
notice that one, yeah. He talked about this on stream. It's because he records some of them in the morning, so he's got the morning voice. And it's why I always try to record at the same time of day.
That makes sense.
I personally think 20% is a bit too much if you're trying to rank up in a game itself. I definitely agree that it is too much for some people, but I think there are some where 20% is like an advisable amount, you know? If someone has really weak mechanics, or if someone like is a master of the in-game systems, then 20% is like the highest I would recommend. But Yeah, I think for most people it's probably closer to like 10%. Yeah, I talk about that in the video. You really worry about your audio too much? It's great, don't worry. I do worry about my audio too much.
It's definitely true.
But it's one of those things where like all of the work I put into it is with the goal of making the work invisible. So if I stop putting in that work, I'm worried that people will notice because it is worse, and you can tell now. I'm muting myself to clear my throat. I'm a bit like, I don't know, bad in that way today. How did you learn to edit videos? Like, what are the sources? Please share. I am so sorry because my source is like, I just did it a lot.
You do have one source.
What is my
The
source?
transition video.
Yeah, actually, there you go. I'll link that. Turn on.
I do think that learning by just like, I want to make that, and then
Yeah,
figuring out how to do
yeah.
it, it's a really good way to learn a lot of skills, honestly.
Or like seeing, like I'll see an effect in a video and it's like, how can I recreate that? And thinking it through, like what could I do to do this?
I do think it gives us some strange techniques, though. Like,
Yeah.
both that and Paint.net, we have so many ways to bodge a good end result.
Yeah,
But
but
the
like
process is like,
stack 50 layers to fill in
it's
the
like
background.
the SpongeBob thing where he draws like 16 different intermediary things to get the perfect circle.
But yeah, unfortunately, I have no formal training in video editing. I have no, you know, the basics of editing, like how to time your cuts, or how to. Well, most of what I do, realistically, is just like timing cuts to what I'm saying and having footage that matches.
I think you can make
And that's about it.
like a top 10 aim video with that, just that.
Yeah, that's all you need to do. And most people get that wrong because, you know, they're being lazy and they drag in like a minute of footage to fill like a block of time. Or, you know, they time a cut in the middle of their sentence for no reason. I heard it said, and I like this, that your video clips are like the punctuation to your sentences, you know? You should use them to emphasize this is the start of a thought, this is the end of a thought, for how you select your clips and paste your clips. What else is there? All of the fancy stuff that I do is mostly just like me fucking around. Like, for the edit earlier where I had a bunch of the scenario names like flying on the screen, I just like I screenshot them, I crop them out, and then I just animate them using the Premiere Pro like keyframes. Montage is not cut on the beat. It hurts. It hurts.
I feel like that's like the secret sauce that
Maybe,
isn't talked
actually.
about, because it adds so much to the feeling of like momentum and like tempo, but it's so easy to just like not think about.
I also feel like thinking about it gives you the skills you need to cut clips really well in like a video like this. Because I feel like the attention to detail and the attention to timing and making sure things are syncing up with what you're saying is pretty natural when you are coming from the perspective of like, okay, I'm gonna sync this to this part of the song, and ooh, like that flick matches that little beat there. It feels like a natural evolution.
Yeah.
What's the book you read for the video? It is Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, and it was mostly a waste of time. I liked the book. I thought it was a good read.
What was the reason you read it? Because it's like you were insecure about a certain section. Like, I'm not sure I can really talk about this without having.
Yeah. So I got the idea for one segment of this video from a Jacob Geller video about Sekiro, and he read the book for that. And I didn't want to be quoting, like, not quoting, but like referencing Geller, referencing a book. I wanted to read the book. It is mostly a philosophy book, and it was interesting to read. I don't know much about philosophy, but I enjoyed it. But it was a waste of time for this video. There was one part of there was one paragraph that was loosely based on a section, and then there was like one half quotes from the book, and that's about it in like a 38-minute video. So, yeah. other than your own aim makes it very easy to pick out what you are doing wrong. This helps when trying to implement new techniques into your gameplay, since you can assess their impacts in isolation without worrying about the mental baggage that technique might apply to your in-game performance. This is a bit of a double-edged sword, however, and leads into why so many
This is,
people find
the
it
return
so
of the
hard
Hollow
to
Knight
break
music.
plateaus, specifically in aim trainers. Mentality. Easy to spot errors means you can always see just how many mistakes you're making, and having a leaderboard right there at all times means you're always comparing yourself and your own progression against others. Great when things are going well, but when you are stagnating and everyone around you isn't, it's very easy to fall into a few mental traps as a way of trying to explain why you are falling behind. While plateaus can be a fantastic tool to prompt yourself to learn, you need to approach them in the right way. These mental pitfalls ensure that you won't. They prevent you from seeing stuckness as anything other than a brick wall.
This is something I want to think about more in future videos I make like this, where I have really strong emotional goals for each segment. I feel like there are issues with my writing where I'm not emotionally consistent. Like, while plateaus can be a great thing to prompt yourself to learn, that doesn't fit. That is too positive for the music and the vibe of the overall thing. It should have a negative framing, you know? You won't get the benefits of plateaus if you cannot. And I think that will make it more tonally consistent. And it's something that I didn't really think about until, you know, I was putting the music in and I'm like, shit, that doesn't fit. So I'm gonna try and pay more mind to that in the future. I don't know if anyone noticed that as a problem, but I did. I'll be sure to turn up how the music hits. The music is so good. I'm a little nervous because you have a horror story with the Hollow Knight OST.
I actually had a vendetta against Team Cherry. Every time I would see Silk Song, I would get a little bit mad because one of the most adventurous videos for me, like really out of my comfort zone. It was doing pretty well. Then I got a copyright strike from a Hollow Knight song that was in the climax of the video, and I had to replace it because otherwise, just first of all, it completely killed its existence in the algorithm, and also made it unmonetizable. So, and it was manual too, because it was like a month before it happened. So I'm like, wow, Team Cherry hates
They're
me.
evil.
They saw this video,
Target.
they're like, boom, delete this. And then I found out that
Like this year,
This
by the way, because
year?
I looked into this because I hear people using the music all the time, but you told me it wasn't safe.
but yeah, it was like a Team Cherry statement that's like, we do not claim any videos. There's somebody going around false claiming.
And so you just been like hating on Team Cherry for like 6 years.
The broken ass system.
Yeah. Hearing Hollow Knight music just makes me want to play more Hollow Knight. I think it's going to be the first video that I play, a video game that I play after finishing this video. Because like, oh, but should I do it on stream? I don't know. Because I
feel like
really
you
want
would
to play
enjoy
it.
that, to be honest.
The streaming?
Man, I might be wrong, but
I suck at that game. I'm terrible. And you might be right, because I like taking like my own pace with exploration stuff. Whereas like DS3 is more like combat focused, so. Do you still do VOD reviews on your Patreon? I do, yeah.
For me, that brick wall took the form of popcorn scenarios. I used to think I was just bad at them, that for some reason, unlike every other scenario, I was incapable of improving at it no matter what I did. And while popcorn was my worst scenario, so much so that it became a bit of a running joke.
These are real, by the way. These are real messages.
So that it became a bit of a running
Nah, chat is annoying. They probably would be if I were to play it. I don't know, I think I have a good chat. But
I think that would be okay. I just feel like it can be frustrating to beat your head against the wall in a genre you're not comfortable with.
yeah, maybe if I've played some other Metroidvanias, but I haven't, so. Do you have any routine to increase reaction time? That's a new one.
Sleep a lot.
Sleep a lot, drink a lot of alcohol.
Yep.
Mine got faster over time. Like, as I practiced more, as I became more accustomed to, processing information and moving my hand to match what I was seeing, I got faster.
I think reaction time is so contextual that it's not worth training in isolation. And as long as you are performing a task and practicing a task that requires reaction time, you will improve at it.
Yeah. And
Which is why all the top Corvex players have like absurd reaction time.
Yeah.
I don't think it's because
not all of them are
the
just, they're all just, it's all of them are just like god tier.
Yeah, they were born like
genetic
that.
freaks. Yep. They started off like 130 ms. But yeah, I had I think 220 ms reaction time back in 2019, 2020. I actually found a clip of me doing human benchmark the other
That's
day.
awesome.
And at my fastest, I was at 140. I'm not that fast anymore. But that's because I'm not practicing anymore, right? You don't train the skill, you lose the skill. The other thing is that a big part of reacting quickly is like being familiar with how things move. Like, if I don't, let's say I'm fighting like a tracer, I'm gonna be anticipating a blink. I will react faster to tracer blinking than I would to soldier teleporting across my screen. Because I'm not gonna expect soldier to teleport across my screen.
Yeah. When you have like a subconscious awareness of everything the enemy could do in that moment, you will be so much more ready to react to it.
Yeah.
As opposed to like a lag spike.
It's something that I wonder if I should have talked about more in my animation reading video, but it's a bit tangentially related to the topic.
It's more like an asterisk or a footnote.
Do top players have sub 140? Not all of them, but a lot of them do. And they didn't all start out that way, so just buy Super Strike. I'm glad more people have been seeing like improvement. I don't know if it's a common perception anymore, opinion anymore, but I used to see a lot of people say like, nah, reaction time is entirely genetic. If you get 220, you'll always be 220. Unlucky, buddy.
Yeah, it's crazy. People see it like height in the NBA. Well, they'll see like all the top players or like all the CS pros with like relatively low reaction time, and they'll be like, "Yep, it's just a prerequisite to being a pro gamer."
Jerk. And it was harder for me to improve at it than other scenarios at the time. All that establishing this belief did is ensure that I would never put the time in to get better at this scenario type. This mental barrier was so strong that all I could think about when playing the scenario was how bad I was at it, berating myself for every missed shot, only paying attention to my final score rather than the mistakes I was making that got me that score. When I went back to the scenario years later with the belief that the only thing I needed to do to improve was put in the time, that mental barrier evaporated. I was paying attention to my mistakes, seeing what I was doing differently from those at the top and trying to implement what they did. In order to take the steps that I needed to improve at this scenario type, I had to ditch my old belief that I couldn't. That was good. I think that hit exactly how I wanted it to.
Yeah. I think that segment without music would really illuminate how powerful music is for YouTube videos.
I also think the segment at the end about like berating myself every missed shot, that was a late addition to the video. I had edited the segment and I was watching it back and I'm like, no, I can do more with this, I need to talk about like what I talked about essentially. And it shifted the focus of the segment to being willing to let yourself make mistakes and not hyper focus on them and focus on why they're happening instead of just the fact that they're happening. I think it turned out pretty well. I do have one criticism though, and I'm curious if people agree. The line, when I returned to it with the mentality that all I needed to do was put in the time in order to improve, that's kind of implying that you just have to grind, which I don't think is true, but my point was that when you go into it with that mentality that you will get better if you do the right things, you will do the right things, And if you go into it expecting to stay stuck, you're going to stay stuck because you're not going to do the right things. It's that knock-on effect that's important. It's not like, I'm putting in the time, I'm not putting in the time. It's like leaving your mind open to new ideas, which I say in about 2 minutes, 15 seconds-ish. I don't know if people will interpret it that way, especially when taken against the totality of the rest of the video. Because yeah, it is like the knock-on effects are different if you go into it with the mentality of like, I will get better if I keep trying. I think the message is clear. I think so too, but you know, that is a part of the problem with, you know, editing things in late, because one of the lines is from when I first wrote it and one of the ones is like a building on that. So I got the impression that you were worse because you hadn't put in the time and avoided playing it. Partially true, but it's like I avoided it because I thought I would never improve. When I went back with my, you know, willing to learn and willing to put in the time, I picked up on all these things that I was missing. It's just an interesting thing that, again, I didn't notice until basically the day I posted it.
因为这个只
I was
要
like, oh,
一
fuck
停
it,
下
I'm
来
not
就
changing it.
它就会 因为
And I think
AFK
most
被
people
踢下
got
去
the message, and I think it hit emotionally how it should have, which
理
is
论
the main thing, I
上
think. This doesn't always manifest so transparently though. What about the terms wrist aimer, flicky aimer? These boxes that people put themselves into when trying to define how they play can sometimes, not always, but sometimes, limit themselves into only improving the skills that they see as defining them. Despite these labels not being intrinsically negative, this is often what prevents people from seeing those key weaknesses. Even though fixing them would bring about an avalanche of improvement, these issues exist. This is so dumb. I chose this because, like, it's like the scenario is falling on me like a boulder in an avalanche. And also because it is like an old weakness of mine that I didn't improve. But that's why I chose that font specifically. It's in blind spots because of who they see themselves to be as players. I fell into this trap too. My self-perception as a target switcher was my attempt at a glass half full approach to my weaknesses.
I like that
Flips
edit.
were my strengths, and I just wasn't as good at other types of aim. It's that same assumption that my skill
Well,
level
如果
was just
没有达
how
成
it
的话，
was
我就
and not
先
a
吃啦
direct。result.
I
就
kind of like
看
that
赌
comment. This part was odd for me
赌
because
他
I've
不会
never
把我
heard of
踢
this
出
and I
去
feel like
的
I'm pretty deep in this community.
或是
We came
我
up with this
可
just
能
like
拿个
talking
东
about
西
it.
压住我的空白键
What?
之类的。
Just like the fact that labels like wrist aimer can be self-limiting.
Yeah, this is not a common talking point. This is a us rambling about bullshit original. And I think it's a very powerful point, and yeah, one that I have never heard talked about before this video, but is so true, and it kind of sums up all the issues I have with, like, you know, which aim style are you? Are you a wrist or an arm aimer? Like, you're drawing these boxes for no reason, and then putting yourself in a box for no reason, and then being surprised, like, why am I not engaging with the full circle around me? Because you're in the fucking box. But yeah, I think this segment is probably the one that will apply to the most people who made it this far in the video.
Yeah, it's way more popular in people outside of aim trainers.
Yeah, yeah.
It's common in TF2 as well.
What I really liked in one of your videos, you mentioned what would be a good aim and setting standards for it. Can you explain that as well in terms of pursuing an idea? I don't know if I'm following, I'm sorry. For the lack of... Are you?
No.
Sorry. Time invested in those other skills that got me into that box of being a target switcher in the first place. I had a weakness with my
clip is so
fine
fucking
control.
crazy.
Of course I did. It wasn't
like, I
part
hit
of my
that in my
style.
house.
Even though my fine control was a big part in what was preventing me from becoming a more consistent player, even within target switching. Like I said, aim is so interconnected as a skill that defining yourself in a way that only lets you engage with one segment of it will leave you massively handicapped as a player. This is not me saying that having a style is always bad, just that it often serves as an excuse to ignore weak areas of your aim, even though improving those weak areas will help you implement your style better. I feel like that was a good disambiguation, because like I feel like I should do that more. Like look at a segment and see like how can people misinterpret this, and then like add a line in saying like, no, that is not what I'm saying.
Hey.
You been playing any Battlefield? No, I hate Battlefield 6. I hate it. People will also put like 3k hours into something just brute forcing and then complain it isn't working when they're not even thinking critically about major. I feel like, and this is not gonna make sense to a lot of people in chat. I feel like Geometry Dash players fall into this so hard. I feel like
I think just generally there's not very much discourse about how to get better at Geometry Dash.
Yeah.
Because brute force is so encouraged.
Yeah. And I feel like the top players, like people say they're genetic gods or whatever because they're like 14 and they're the best. I feel like it's just the people who happen to have like, it's like what I talked about at the end with like naturally aligned techniques, you know, like some people will just start out with better technique. I feel like anyone who starts out with good technique in Geometry Dash is just like you can just play. But anyone who doesn't, because there are no resources, there are no discussions, and they're all children, so they're not really thinking about this, they'll put in 5,000 hours just, you know, brute force, and it won't go anywhere because they're like doing something foundationally wrong, and then they're like, oh well, this guy has 5,000 hours too, it must be genetics.
Yeah.
Good morning, Viscose in chat. Good morning. Did you see the guy who beat Bloodbath as their first level? Felt like a cool idea but bad for long-term improvement. Oh, definitely, but it was a cool idea. And do you want to...
You had me play Geometry Dash like a year ago, and I saw the level, was it Final Fantasy?
Yeah.
Like a challenge level. And obviously it's insanely hard. What is it, like the 9 jumps of hell or something?
I think it's Final Fantasy is 32, 120 FPS frame perfects, I think, in a row.
And the simplicity of that level gave me the idea of like, you could probably brute force this, right? There's not, I'm sure there's plenty of like pre-existing skill that would be useful, but like just hit the timing beforehand, right?
Yeah.
And then the idea blossomed into like, okay, what if you can be an extreme demon with no prior experience? So we got thinking of like, what's the easiest extreme demon that still has aura?
And it's Bloodbath.
And we came out with the Bloodbath. So I'm like, okay, maybe in the future I'll come to this video. And then like 4 months later, that video comes out. I'm like, fuck.
And it's good. And
it's
it does
really
really
good,
well.
And it does really well.
You know, I struggle so much because of putting a single label on myself, because I feel like I don't just want to be... Are you the person I talked to about this on Discord the other day? I don't want to just repeat what I said there, but if not, then I have some things to say on this, I think. Because I feel like I don't want to be a cog in the machine and do everything and not be interesting. Because that's what I thought as a kid, like you have to be different to make it, or else no one will care and there is no reward. But it ends up putting me in a perspective that avoids all the perspectives. It works so hard against the fact that I don't really have anything. And if I switch to things that others will do, I will not be special, and therefore the guy I was trying to figure out will end up being failing, so I end up being just another guy. Yeah, I said this in the Discord, but like, in relation to this, I am the most basic bitch Kovacs player imaginable. I'm pretty good at everything, not great at anything. I use normal sensitivities, and my main best category is control tracking. That is like, no, I guess it's air, which is kind of not that common these days. That is not an interesting set of attributes for an aim trainer player to have at all. And I'm still probably the most known like aim trainer person. Not great at anything relative to like, you know, the category 1 tricks, or like Matty, you know. You inspire me to... Yeah, I remember that. That was funny.
That's awesome. What's the takeaway from that anecdote about your basic bitchness?
You don't have to do something interesting and quirky with your config to be a interesting person within the community, you know?
you don't have to make yourself stand out through like only playing 10cm or only playing like LBDH. Like there are better ways to stand out that won't limit you.
And there's a lot more to aim and style and uniqueness of a player than just your settings.
Would you play LG duels? Maybe against like a friend, but there's not much of an LG scene in Australia. And I know if I go overseas and join like an overseas LG server and I lose because I'm on 200 ping, people are gonna be like, "Oh my god, Cravax doesn't work." You lost on
You
200
will have a hate
ping."
video on you, and then they'll ask why nobody plays.
Yeah, yeah. Do you plan on making a video about the crosshairs? Not really. I don't think I have enough to say.
There is one final barrier that can prevent this though, one that might be so strong that you are still willing to ignore those weaknesses, even consciously knowing how much they might be holding you back. What if other types of aim just aren't as fun? This was why I stuck with target switching for so long. I didn't enjoy the other subcategories. At the time, I thought that I was good at it because I enjoyed it, but in retrospect, I think it was the other way around. I enjoyed it because I was good at it, and I was good at it because I had put in the
Did you
time
flick in
to
opposite
improve.
directions
Weakness create.
What do you mean?
when you were like the other way around? To the two clips, you flick in opposite directions? Is that
Not
intentional?
intentional,
Okay,
no. That's really funny though.
I enjoyed it because I was good at it, and I was good at it because I had put in the
Wait,
time.
the 180?
The 180s, yeah.
Yes, that was intentional.
No way.
The other way around. I did a 180
I
here.
Okay.
Yeah.
enjoyed it because
was intentional.
I was good at it, and I was
I thought
good
you meant,
at
like,
it
different
because I
directions
put in the
between
time
clips.
to improve. Weakness creates preference.
You are the only person who can notice my fucking bullshit like decision making. This is a real screenshot, by the way. I was overjoyed when I found this because like it's so perfect.
Weakness creates preference. Even though I used to hate tracking, nowadays I find it far more fun and rewarding than target switching after putting in the effort to get better at it. All that said, there is still often some commitment needed to find the fun if you want to learn a new type of aim. The more goal.
I use that footage because that was Appa playing his own scenario, and he basically towards the end of his time name training basically only played that scenario, and I am kind of assuming that like he kept making this scenario or made the scenario and kept playing it because he enjoyed it so much. So that was him finding his own fun in my head at least, and I thought that was cool.
Goal-oriented people, this might be trying to climb the ranks of the benchmarks, but for me, it often took the form of the scenarios themselves. When trying to break my mental barrier on popcorn, I started playing a bunch of different iterations of the
I
scenario.
love this bit.
Larger, slower, smaller, but the one that finally made it click into place for me was called Popcorn Voltaic Fat Pigeons. Something about how transparently goofy this scenario was made it easier for me to ditch any preconceived notions of my skill and just enjoy it. And that
This song
is
kind
when
of
I
sounds like
started to learn.
pigeon noises
The
too.
easier difficulty made training kills together make sense. I understood how to read the arcs of their movements. I felt like I was in control of each
How'd you hear
round.
it?
And then going back to the normal scenario, it was something that I previously despised. I took that knowledge and that enjoyment with me. It unlocked a scenario that was impossible to broach otherwise. So, thank you, Fat Pigeons.
The song has those noises, and when listening to the song, it doesn't sound like pigeon noises. But when listening to this segment, sorry, I'm looking. I want to have the pigeon on the screen while I'm talking. But when putting it with the Fat Pigeons scenario, it sounds like pigeon sounds, and I fucking love it. It's so good. Speaks. Thank you for the prime sub. And yeah, I will take Fat Pigeons. I wanted like a good look at the pigeon model because I think it's so fucking funny. Why do they have wheels?
Is that a pumpkin?
Yeah, I think it's like a car model and a pumpkin and a bird head and a jetpack, and they've been like
Holy
pushed
shit,
together.
mecha pigeon.
Oh my god. Yeah, it has wheels. It fucking drives like a car. This part of the video, the whole fat pigeon segment, and even the last bit about like, you know, I didn't like it because I didn't enjoy it. That was all added really late in the video's development. I had finished part 2, part 3, and I think most of part 4. And I think this was born from a conversation between you and I again. I was just thinking about all the possible things that I could mention. And yeah, I thought about a conversation on Discord I had where I typed that weakness creates preference bar, and then someone said like, oh fuck, it was Ryla. What did she say? It was something praising the line. I'm like, okay, I have to work that in somehow. And then the finding the fun bit kind of came from that. And when I wrote that, I was like, yes, this is it. This fixes the video. Realistically, it doesn't fix the video. I think it was fine before that, even though I was freaking out about it. But I do think it made it a lot better, and it, you know, created my favorite individual segment of the video, which is the fat pigeons with the pigeon song.
Did you think about that when you found it?
No, I didn't. Because we were going through the Minecraft soundtrack, the new Minecraft songs, and we found this one, and we're like, oh, that's good for video. And I've made a little folder now with all the songs I found in the research phase for this video, like, that I thought maybe I could use. And that's a true story as well, by the way. The popcorn will take fat pigeons. That really happened. And I love that. Weakness creates preference is my favorite point of the vid. Thank you. It's definitely the most quotable line. Just playing its variants up? Probably. It's like when you play a variant, you're shifting your focus from whatever the main scenario was to main scenario plus a little bit of something else, or minus a little bit of something that the main scenario had. And for me, having that variability and focus let me find a version of the scenario that actually clicked with me. Said I played Visco's Bench at one of our masters. It was all because of me. I can take full I'm joking, obviously.
Congratulations on winning Valorant.
Thank you. One more question on making videos. What kind of deadlines do you set when starting from scratch? I get nothing done if I don't set a deadline. I don't have strict deadlines. Towards the end of a project, I will often have a self-imposed one. Like, I think it was on the 19th of last month. I'm like, I want to have it done in a month. And I failed, but I worked so hard trying to achieve that goal, which was impossible. I would have had to do like record 15 minutes of audio and edit like 20 minutes of video in like a month. But I got so close that the goal worked even though I failed it. But when I start a project, I don't really have any time frame in mind. Like a lot of the time I'll write something and then kind of shelve it while I work on something else, or, you know.
I think deadlines are very unhealthy for projects like this.
Agreed.
Because good things take time, and they take many revisitations and passes.
Yeah. You know, this script would not have turned out so well if I wrote it in November and finished the video in December, because it was through returning to it 5 months later. It was like something I didn't write anymore because it had been so long, and I could see all the mistakes and little things to tweak and improve. And even though I missed some of them, like I have had critiques of this video, I usually have way more issues with the videos I make. They're usually a lot more flawed than this one. The video in December.
It's the unfortunate, what's the word I'm looking for? Things that are at odds with each other, which is like making an artful video and like that YouTuber mindset.
Yeah.
They're very much at odds with each other.
I mean, when I look at all the creators that I really like and I consistently return to watching their videos, it takes them a long time to make stuff, and that's just kind of how it will be, I guess. And it's clear that even my previous schedule of like once a month was somewhat compromising in that regard. Like I have to give up the scope of projects or the emotional beats, and I think that's shown through by, like, I gave myself 3 months to make this video, roughly. It took about 3 months of work, and it turned out so much better in scale and detail. So, you know. Which is why I forgot password as a horrible comment. Yep.
Yeah.
This video took 400 hours to make.
That is more than what most of my viewers have in aim trainers, and I spent it on one video. And no, I just forgot my password, guys. And you could take away slash addition, as June once said, optimal that improvement will be different. It doesn't make sense to follow blind what others are doing without thinking about it. Do it right for you, even if you're the only one doing it. Yeah, I like that quote. That's good. The video was good, but you only glossed over your solution to translate aim into games related to movement. Was it just playing this whole summer and realizing you don't need to flick back and reactive? There is a bit more. And I actually had a bit about it, but I cut it because it was like a 3-minute segment in a segment that already kind of dragged. And I had to, you know, really flesh out like the definitions of like movement, mirroring, anti-mirroring, and how you integrate the two. But a lot of it was like genuinely, if you have an understanding of, you know, mirroring, anti-mirroring, blending them both, when to use both, and then also like half sideways strafing, I think it's called, and then also how to play space, that's kind of all you need. But that's different, you know, that's a theoretical understanding of movement, not a mechanical implementation of your aim with movement.
I think anti-movement is like the prerequisite.
Yeah, you have to know how to sync your mouse movement with your strafe to do all of that stuff.
I also think it's the most important.
Anti-movement?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being able to compensate for your own strafe. You get so much value out of being good at that.
Yeah, it's insane. It's actually crazy because like I had a vague understanding of movement, right? But that's all I needed when I didn't have these horrible issues where like I wouldn't move my crosshair right when I would strafe. It did kind of feel like I glossed over it, but realistically, I kind of glossed over it in my training because I just did 15 minutes of that a day for a couple weeks and boom, the issue was gone. It's like a magic trick.
I feel like that could be a video, at least like a short,
Yeah,
talking about anti-movement
probably.
as being
Yeah.
like an underrated skill, but I guess it doesn't apply as much for tech FPS.
That's why I didn't spend a lot of time on it in this video because I was like, I already did like a final, and I guess I'll talk about this when we get there, but I already redid a lot of that segment to make it less tracking focused because it should still apply to tech FPS too. This is why I never want to be a full-time content creator. I just want to make videos that are artsy. If I make something that I find perfect but only gets 100 views, so be it. That's definitely fair and understandable. And it is very hard to strike that balance for me. Because, like, there is already a slight disconnect for me between what I want to make and what my audience wants me to make. And that's okay. It's not severe enough to cause, like, a big problem right now, but it's something that definitely could present issues in the future. But maybe not. Maybe you'll end up doing what you did and find a way to make those artsy videos that do have mainstream appeal. I'm not sure. Is this pigeon on both head? It's still pretty important to do in tech FPS. Oh, absolutely. But if I were to elaborate, it would kind of lose that translation. Like, you don't need to know, like, how to juke someone in a strafe duel in like a tracking context for tech shooters. It's a different conversation. I think the overarching theme here is that it's important to not get stuck into rigid ways of thinking. All of these, the stylistic definitions, presupposing your own skill level, ignoring potential avenues for improvement, are all symptoms of this. And I get why this happens. It's easy to find something that works and just to keep doing it. But experimentation is absolutely necessary for improvement. Everything we understand about aim and the theory behind it comes from people trying something new, figuring out if it helps or hurts them, and then trying something else. If you leave your mind open to these new ideas, if you let yourself sit with the stuckness, in my experience, you'll often end up naturally drifting towards a solution. LG mentioned and Peepo appears. What is this? So this segment is the one that is most influenced by the book. but it's only the last line that's like directly from the book. I don't think it's a quote, but it's like if you've read that part of the book, you'll know which part of the book I read that made me go, oh, I should write about that. And this is it. I read the whole book for 54 seconds of vague influence in a 38-minute video. It was a waste of time, even though I enjoyed it. So that was part 2. Most of that was edited on a trackball, and it took a really long fucking time. I think it turned out okay. I don't think you can really tell in the quality of the edits, but yeah, it took so long. For the time, you don't have to wallow in uncertainty because other people have been stuck before you, namely me. I have found myself in basically all the common pitfalls throughout the 5 years I've spent trying to improve my aim, and want to go through some of my previous plateaus, what the underlying cause was for each, and how you can address that cause if you think you are stuck for the same reasons. To call something back that I said a bit ago, I found that the voltaic benchmarks being fairly challenging was something that boosted my improvement compared to the playlist I was doing previously. This is a fairly common sentiment throughout the community, the idea that harder scenarios will universally make you a better player. After all, if you can hit a small target, then the large one should be easy, right? When most people start aim training, they're probably playing scenarios like Tile Frenzy or Grid Shot, which are effectively useless. Before I continue on with the segment, I think the start of this was really good and compelling enough to keep people engaged, but I think the back half of part 3, where I talk about movement and I talk about, what else did I talk about? Like, you know, the speed you make your movements at, I think is the worst part of the video, but is also one of the parts that I think people will get the most from. And that's kind of what I'm talking about, will benefit from. It's not really what I want to make. It's adjacent to what I want to make, but it's not quite there. And that does make things a bit tricky when I'm weighing like what to include in a video. Because I think if I was being a bit more precise with my you know, trimming down of the script, I think a lot of this would have gone. But at the same time, it clearly is valuable to include. So I don't really know. What do you think?
I'll have to see the part again.
Okay. I think this part's good. I think it's everything after that drags a little. I don't want to write them off entirely, but for anyone who isn't an absolute beginner to mouse and keyboard, I don't see what these tasks can do for you other than training raw speed, which there are better ways to train. When those new players branch out and try scenarios like 1 more 6 targets small, they improve a lot more since the scenario targets a lot more. Making the dots smaller fundamentally changes what players are required to do. It now rewards precision as well as speed and actually requires you to micro-correct. This is what the voltaic benchmarks did for me. They got me past that initial plateau by using harder scenarios that, by the nature of their increased difficulty, trained skills that were more applicable to in-game aim. In my opinion, this is what makes the harder scenario better for improvement in this instance. But that isn't the lesson a lot of people took. So the visible lesson of harder scenarios equals more improvement began permeating throughout other categories of aim. I actually think this can be a nice example too of how music can really elevate a part. Because like, this without music would be pretty boring as well, I think. But you know, the dramatic like dun, and then the detective music, like it really does elevate the whole segment to the point where this is the exception for part 3. I don't like the rest of part 3, but this is pretty good. And I didn't like it until I put the music in, so yeah. It's interesting to think about how much it can like shape not only the viewer's perception of your video, but like your own perception of your own video. At around the same time as Grid Shot 6, I actually masked out all of the little dots and I grew them manually. It didn't take that long, but I think it looked so cool. So I began to branch out to other FPS games and started playing tracking scenarios. I had next to no experience tracking, but since the most popular scenarios at the time were these, I started out there. And no matter how much time I put into those tasks or how much better I got at them, I did not improve whatsoever at tracking targets in games. Like I said, making a scenario harder fundamentally changes what it does and how you approach it, and more often than not, you need to have a good foundation to work from to get any benefit from very hard scenarios. You can't bunny hop in Counter-Strike without first learning how to airstrafe.
Oh, that turned out so well. The
Strike without first learning how to airstrafe.
the match, and this was on cobblestone because I think this was you who suggested it. I was like, what's like a kind of greenish map? And it's like, yeah, cobblestone. And then I tried to match like the speed of the pan that Clicky Crisp does in the B-Hop video.
So you just have this skin?
Yeah, I have this skin.
That's funny.
And it's the same skin, isn't it? Yeah.
Bunny hop in
Turned
Counter-Strike
out so
without
well.
first learning how to airstrafe.
The only complaint, and I thought about going back and fixing it, is that like he's looking down and I'm looking straight. So somewhat famous movements.
Do you know it?
I don't actually. What is it?
Chicken coop?
And you can't play extra control sphere without learning and being good at the skills that underpin it. There absolutely is value to pushing yourself and trying something harder than you are used to. But there is
Oh,
also
no, but I had to do, like, a
where
clean
it's
line.
too hard to get any value from. Even at my current skill level, I still find both easier and harder scenarios helpful. Easier scenarios build that foundation and help you refine your technique because the potential sources for error are reduced. Harder scenarios ensure
You can tell I wanted to edit here. There was so many fancy like motion parts of the video, like parts with motion. This was the first part I edited with the mouse, and I was so excited to have my mouse back that I was like, fuck yeah. Animate everything onto the screen. Go. 1337 Monkey, thank you for the tier 1. Would you go back and change it, or are you happy with it as is? I'll get back to you on that one after I'm done watching it. Right now I'm not really sure.
that you can maintain that good technique in new, more strenuous situations. Outside of general time management mistakes, this is what I think the most prevalent issue is for people who can perform well in Kovacs but can't translate that to FPS games. They haven't taken the time to build those foundational skills. Those are what you bring over when you pick up a new game, and they are what you augment to match its mechanics. Harder scenarios will always be there to help you build out from your foundations, but the foundation has to come first.
Yeah, that part does kind of drag a little. Not much. It could have been cut down, but I think it was okay. I still enjoyed it because of the music.
I thought it was quite
The
good.
next plateau I worked through was related to these game-specific challenges more directly, and was because of something that sat completely off my radar when I was trying.
I really thought I was gonna. Okay, maybe I'm just being too harsh on myself because like I've known this for a while.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, when this info was more novel to you, or like you're hearing the script for the first time, I think you'll be less. You won't find it to drag as much.
Maybe yeah, it is definitely important, and I think it's something that has to be repeated because people still don't get it. But yeah, this is what I mean. Like, I think this is the worst part of the video, this overall part 3 bit, but it is probably what people will derive the most from in terms of lessons. So yeah, Lemino. Yeah, there's Lemino music. I think it's from the video with the pill in the thumbnail.
The UFO one?
Yeah, the UFO with the guys in the aircraft carrier who are like, what is that thing? And they're looking at this little flying
Flying
tic tac.
Kovacs
Yeah.
spot.
Wait, yeah, it is a Kovac spot actually.
Oh, you have the whole video?
Look at this, Kovac spot. Shit, now I gotta go back to where it was.
Links, but the foundation has
First Kovac spot sighting.
the next plateau appropriate reaction to finding a Kovac spot. What the fuck is that? It was related to these game-specific challenges more directly, and was because of something that sat completely off my radar when I was trying to improve my foundations. Movement. More specifically, movement sync. While I was aware of the fundamentals of movement, mirroring and anti-mirroring and variations of both, I had always struggled to implement and blend them seamlessly. There was always this step to my movements that made integrating the two into my gameplay a bit awkward. So, what was the cause? Despite all of my tracking practice being done while stationary, actually staying on target while moving was easy enough to pick up. Instead, yeah, that soldier footage is real from early 2022. They were the worst whips I could find, and they weren't that bad, actually. I probably didn't save my really bad ones, but yeah, that is real footage from me in the past. Okay, we got some Overwatch Noahs in the chat. Scout MG might be the goat of teaching this. What do you think?
Anti-movement?
Yeah. I think anti-movement is what's being...
Maybe. Depends, because you do aim with strafe a lot, which is a little different.
It was my own direction changes that would throw me up. It should be possible to remain on target perfectly throughout these. You know when you are going to change direction and can move the mouse to match, but I'd consistently lag behind. I was reacting to my crosshair leaving the target instead of intuitively compensating for my own movements. The solution to this for me was actually really simple. This scenario. It exclusively focuses on syncing your aim with your direction changes, and doing 15 minutes of this a day for a couple weeks helps. I actually recorded a timer for like 15 minutes. How sharp my tracking felt in game. But playing this scenario also illuminated... And Pipo, do you have a really good score in this scenario? I feel like I saw you on the leaderboards when I was like going through and getting footage. Something else. It has gradual direction changes, so it takes time for you to go from moving in one direction to the other. What this means is that your mouse movements should match this shift in speed, slowly following the target. When I started playing it though, my approach was to make the adjustment instantly, and upon trying to slow that movement down, I found myself unable to do it smoothly. What? I'm gonna use this as a chance to talk about, like, there are some bits of footage in this that are like actually old footage. Like this is from 2021. Other times I have to fake it because I don't have footage. And what I do is I play on like 5 cm with fake lag and just try and track it as well as I can. And it looks like this. Unable to do it smoothly. And yeah, it's very rare for me to like intentionally throw and have it look real. Like the bad Tile Frenzy gameplay at the start of the video or earlier in the video, that was me and you on a trackball playing Tile Frenzy, which is really funny. Watching recordings of my tracking in other scenarios, I noticed that exact same thing. I had to snap back to the target. Since starting to look for it, this is something I've seen in a lot of players who develop their aim primarily through aim trainers, and I think limits them outside of it as well. There are some scenarios this works well for, like tracking tasks that require you to be quick to actually catch up to the target, or flicking scenarios where snapping between blocks is clearly the intent, but if these scenarios are all you play, then this will become a widespread habit. Dude, I don't know if it's like that. It's more like I can't replicate how I used to play. For good and bad reasons. Like if you ask me to flick how I used to, I can't do it anymore. I don't have it like that anymore. I'm out of practice. But yeah, it's the same thing with like how I used to react to strafe, so I can't play like that. Being accurate while being fast won't instantly make you accurate while moving slowly. So exclusively playing scenarios that reward this style will leave mechanical gaps. You can generally view games through this lens as well. Do we have a thinking room?
I feel like we have the opposite.
Yeah, we have like
We just have clutter
rooms.
everywhere.
So much bullshit. No empty room in the house. It was worse when we were at my parents' place, and we had like the main room with the computers and the hell room with like 100 mouse pads and all of our garbage.
It's random exercise equipment or skill toys everywhere you look.
I'm at 654. Can I still get good aim at 30? I'm gonna show you something. So I have a clip in this video that is important.
Bardos.
Yeah, he's almost 30, I think, actually. This is Double A Twitchy. I don't know how old he is. He's mid-late 40s, I think. And like, look at him. He's better than me at this shit. He's goated. And aim trainers. So, there you go.
That can't be good for your eyes. What the hell?
What's going on?
It's right in front of his face.
Oh shit, it's there. I thought it was there. He's locked in, actually.
He's got like an optical illusion set up.
Yeah.
Perspective trick.
But yeah, he is really good, and he's 54. Goat.
That's awesome.
Actual goat. Is he good at games? Good question. I don't know. Through this lens as well. Overwatch typically demands snappier corrections, while Apex asks for smoother ones to match the game's slower acceleration speeds. Although, even within the same game, there is a huge range of correction types present. Always aiming at the same speed heavily limits how dynamic your aim can be. This is another reason why it's so important to play both easier and harder scenarios. Varying your practice builds your technique up to the point where it becomes malleable to the situation you're in. Instead of habitually aiming in the way most comfortable to you, you will be able to change the speed and style of your aim to match what is asked of you. This clip is so cool. It's like the perfect for like changing your aim dynamically based on what you need. Yeah, I think Matty is like 23? I think? Early 20s. He's not old. I started training after watching your videos. I'll agree. Thanks for your training. Thank you. No worries. I'm very glad to hear. Was he 18 when he went? I don't think so. Because he was in uni. He's been in uni the whole time I've known him.
Do you know how old Ince is?
Which one?
The TF2 Kovacs Smoothness finals.
No.
Probably be about the same age as me, I'd imagine.
But both are old.
I saw I was like, does Riley find the competition? And Dummy lists like a bunch of control trackers. And they're like, no, I mean competition in terms of age.
Is there anyone as old as Ryla? Is Ryla the oldest person in the world? How I worked through this habit and developed that malleability was to basically rebuild my readjustments from the ground up. I'm proud of this footage. I was like, I need chill adjustments on the control tracking scenario, but I'm like so washed now. I don't know if I can do it. And I played for like 30 seconds, and I got this bit, which I thought looked really good. I look like I know what I'm doing, which I don't anymore. To basically rebuild my readjustments from the ground up. I was proud of myself for being able to get like a gameplay snippet that long and that good, you know? It was cool.
Remember when we did the multiplayer Kovacs thing? You're like, oh, I'm so washed, I'm not sure if I can do it anymore. And then everyone played Air, and you just logged up. Maybe I'll play one. You just like obliterate everybody.
That was really funny.
Do not believe this sandbagging.
No, I'm not sandbagging. It has been like 7 months, okay? It's been so long since I've played. If I do anything well aim-wise, I'm like, holy shit, what happened? Played scenarios like these with a conscious focus on taking as long as I needed to correct to the target, making sure I didn't feel rushed or pressured to flick back. I also noticed that playing without hit sounds helped this process too. It made sure I was reacting to seeing the target move instead of hearing the hit sound cut off, making the process more visually involved. For flicking, I played scenarios with small... Yeah, so this part here is a late addition, because I realized I've been talking about tracking for like 5 minutes, and I'm like, shit, the Valorant players I clickbaited are gonna like click off the video. So I added a bit about flicking, and I went back and I re-added like a bunch of like Valorant clips and flicking examples from the previous in the previous segment to like redo that. And that's what I mean when I say like the there's a lot of invisible work because you wouldn't know that I went back and changed like that whole part. But the video would be worse if I didn't, I think. Which Quake is the most active one? Oh,
I think it's still QC, right?
I think it's QC, yeah. Quake Live is also pretty active. Is a huge part of your audience Valorant players? A decent bit of them, especially like, I don't know about core audience, but definitely the people who like see my videos on their recommended and like click on. Like yeah, they'll be Valorant players. How old were you when you started aim training? I think I was 15. Yeah, I was in year 9 of high school, so I was 15. Please play Valorant sometime. Oh, I don't like that game. I don't like that game at all. Chems is better for general practice. Queue up Unholy Trinity. I would if there were people in my region. I would honestly love to play QC. I really liked it when I did play.
I have plans to bring back the community game. I've been talking about them for so long, but now I have a concrete date and plan to at least play TF2 in the next week or 2. So if things go well and we have some momentum, then perhaps we'll branch out into Diabolical and things like that.
Can one get to the top 100 aim trainers with 2k hours? Yeah, absolutely. I have, I think I had like 2.4k when I reached my peak, which was probably, I think Matty said I was like top 5. So you can definitely get there with 2k.
First time to have Brian.
Hello, Brian.
I've been watching a lot of Brian's stream recently, and there was a time when there was just a message from a guy named Ice Came. I'm like, wait a minute, why do I know this name? And it's just like a very famous GD player and creator, yeah. Apparently he won a season of the 2nd highest division in TF2.
Oh, that's good. Do you still have monitor problems? I do when I try and like push it to do more stuff, but if I just leave it, I don't really have any issues anymore. I don't think I ever noticed if you put Val in the tags of your videos. I don't put any tags actually. I don't think they do anything.
I think tags are a scam. I got so many. Have you gotten DMs like this?
Yeah.
Who like
they check the metadata of my video with like 2
your
bunnies.
vid IQ. You have like a 50.
Oh, it's good.
My video with 40 views has a 97 because I optimized the SEO. And that's why I have a description with 5 million tags.
Yeah, I think
10's Valorant.
all the fucking tags in the description, please ignore.
Yeah.
It's just like garbage. Like, what are you doing?
You have to set your tablet to mouse mode. Okay, this is a totally random aside.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry
go.
for the viscose and joys, but the tablet market is so fucked up. Almost every tablet you can buy has like a guaranteed input smoothing that you can't get rid of. Only Wacom has tablets, except for like one other one that doesn't have input smoothing. And I had no idea. I was gonna buy this tablet for like a very brief FPS project, and I opened up this spreadsheet and it says it's like extremely not recommended. But the Wacom tablets are $1 million each. And the highest polling rate of a tablet is 300, and the average is 133. Like, what? What are we doing?
New tech? Isn't there a custom driver?
I don't think you could turn off the input smoothing even with Open Tablet Driver.
But you got a crazy deal.
I was scouring the used market for many moons until I saw a good one. But it's still not 300 hertz. That would be another like $300.
Will y'all ever do a Duro game night? I would love to drag you into some Lies of P.
Oh, the co-op? That'd be
Yeah.
cool. But
That would
I
be fun.
get so carried.
No, you're good at these games. You are. You start off way better than I do. I have to put in like way more time.
The issue is with the polling rate. I found this out recently because I'm testing out a 125 hertz mouse. Tracking actually gives me a headache because your entire screen basically is like vibrating with how choppy the input is. You just can't see anything. So for tag FPS, I think he also did use a little bit of smoothing, so I don't know. I don't think the input is completely cooked, but I do think that it's very limiting, mostly because of the hardware, more so than the actual input. Anyway.
You're working on a video about this at the moment.
Kind of. It's part of it.
What games? What co-op games
I
can we
don't know.
play? I think people might enjoy the Elden Ring co-op, but I feel like we'd enjoy it more.
Probably.
Like alone.
I feel like Elden Ring is like a terrible... Sorry. I just had like a muscle spasm and I thought somebody tapped me on the shoulder.
Oh my god,
It
you're
scared
okay.
me so bad.
What are the differences or enhancements? Oh goodness. Okay.
Do the Joseph Anderson McDonald's bit.
Well, my script says Matty voiceover if the viscose benches are so good. Why isn't there a viscose benchmarks too? I have the clip for this actually. Alright. There are slightly more clicking tasks with emphasis on micro-focus clicking tasks with the benchmark more see the round players. A lot of tracking scenarios are without the difficult, even original scenarios created specifically for this benchmark. Most ones that haven't had alterations made to them to fit the goals of the subcategory they're really in. Reactive has undergone heavy changes, but active skill set of the games most heavily indexed by the subcategory rather than being focused on more reactive scenarios help me personally. There are two new difficulties. Expert above the harder benchmark set is for incredibly skilled players that can test themselves, and entering a very different set of scenarios below easier. These are for players with brand new game training and focus on the most essential foundations. To compensate for expert being added, the difficulty of the scenarios of easier, medium, and fun has been decreased. There are also new ranks and all three difficulties to create further overlap between them with the goal of encouraging people to ability to at least two benchmarks set simultaneously, regardless of their own personal skill level.
Holy, that was
Okay,
good.
I kind of looked in.
That was pretty good. Alright, clip that, play it at half speed, and there's your answer. That was pretty good. You were articulating surprisingly well.
Just like play it back slower in your head or something, and there's your answer. Oh, I need a breath. Here's the video. More targets. Since perfectly landing your initial movement is so unlikely here, making a single rigid movement is pretty heavily discouraged. Instead, a more fluid approach works better here to make transitioning into a micro adjustment more seamless. This ensured that I could do both, snappy flips when required, but fluid ones when speed wasn't as important. This habit of trying to make movements too quickly seems to be a very common one. When VOD reviewing people who struggle to translate their aim from aim trainers into FPS games, it is the main technique related issue I notice. Yeah, shit, I should record my voiceovers like that. Just read it really fast and slow it down. And I think its underlying cause
like we went to do
underpins
something
a
in the
lot of
oven.
what I've discussed in this
Double the
video.
tone.
When aim training, it is very easy to fall into the habit of making short-term optimizations to push your score further at the expense of long-term improvements. This doesn't mean that getting higher scores can't be representative of improvement, but the path to getting higher scores in a short time frame doesn't necessarily align with the best way to get better long-term. For me, trying to flick faster and faster did let me get higher scores in the moment, but I hit a wall at a certain point that required long-term weakness correction to address. This manifests everywhere though. Prediction in reactive tracking is another one. It might help eke out some PBs right now, but won't develop good technique in the long run. This is why it's so important to both analyze your own improvement and keep tabs on it over longer time frames. You will make better decisions regarding what to practice if you aren't focusing on maximizing your scores from run to run. Getting better at something isn't a linear process. There will be points where you get worse for a bit before improving again, and keeping the big picture in mind and looking at technique instead of score is how I try to avoid getting demotivated in those situations. I have a full video on how I like to analyze my gameplay from a technique standpoint, if you think this short-term focus is something you struggle with, that framework should be very helpful for you. So yeah, that's the other like kind of advertising bit, but it's so applicable. It's literally the solution to the problem. So I think it's fine.
Yeah, I think it's important because especially when you don't like recovering topics.
Yeah, yeah. It's why I don't say the word tension in this video a single time, I don't think. Because then I have to explain what tension management is and blah, 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 blah. It's better to talk around topics sometimes. Oh, I feel a little lightheaded now.
Somebody asked, where's the tune from?
Yeah, so
Minesweeper 2?
This is from Hex Cells. I love this game. I think it's a great game.
You're launching it?
Yeah, I'm showing the game.
Oh.
Where do you get your music? Here it is. Here's the tune.
Oh, there you go.
Where do we get our music? Because I would say like hours of searching through stuff that doesn't fit.
Yes. Because I think you will be a little bit kneecapped if you only go for stuff like Epidemic Sound. It helps a lot to have it, but a lot of the times royalty-free music is just not that good, or it's so cliched that it takes you out of the video, like Kevin MacLeod.
That's his song's actually like really good. IMO. Fuck, I misclicked. This is Minesweeper, but awesome. I love this game. Anyway, I would keep playing it if I let myself, so I'm not going to.
Minesweeper was good.
Yeah, Minesweeper, but there's no 50-50, so you can always solve it. There's a lot more depth than in Minesweeper as well. I think it's really fun. Highly recommend.
But for videos, your best chance of getting good music that's not going to get auto-copyrighted is game OSTs.
Yeah.
So that's why there's a lot of game OSTs and video essays and our videos.
Yeah, so I have a folder here that I assembled in the process of making this video, which was just like anything that I thought might be good. And then I would go through each segment of the video and like try a bunch of different songs. Like, does this one work? No. Okay, does this one work? No. And then when I found something that was good, I would show it to you and you'd be like, it's like a 6 out of 10.
Sorry. I ruined the song for you.
Yeah, I found this one that Vsauce used, and I thought it would be funny because like, the people call me Vsauce all the time for some reason, so I can use a Vsauce song. Then you called it like Sigma music.
It was in the motivational section, and it was a little bit like intense.
This is the folder. You can probably just grab it from stream. There's not that many. And this was just like when I was looking. This was just anything that I thought might fit. So like style, I would not use the entirety of the style for a segment, but like we were talking about it and I was playing you the songs and you were like, yeah, I could use the start of that for an intro.
It turns into something horrible very fast.
Yeah, but this that would work.
It's like
so,
40 seconds in, it's over. But
yeah, don't take this as like a definitive guide. This is just like I was looking through and this is everything that I found that would be good.
We also haven't fully checked all of these.
No.
So you always want to upload a video unlisted before you publish it.
Yeah. And the other place that we get music from is Epidemic Sound, but a lot of it sucks. The majority of music on Epidemic Sound is terrible.
Unusable.
There's this one guy,
William Bankert.
yes, who makes like actually really good stuff for Epidemic Sound. And I also found that Lemino uses a lot of music from Epidemic Sound, so you can go and like find the artist in Lemino's videos and then go through their stuff if that's the kind of mood you want to like create.
Yeah, going through other creators is a good plan.
I found some from Canadian, the Minecraft YouTuber. I found some from there were a few others. Jacob Geller, I went through a lot of his videos and found like LA, the Noir Clarinet, that was from Geller.
I'll use it first.
Have you heard of Lapbox Halley Labs? I haven't. None of the music is royalty free. So what does that mean for like using it on like a YouTube video? I'll write that down there. But yeah, this is one of the hardest parts of putting together a video for me.
Isn't Canadian the really nerdy guy?
A little
yeah,
bit.
yeah.
But yeah, having like a collection of stuff that like I like all of these. I would be happy if I can find a use for them, but it's, you know, you gotta find a use for them.
The other tricky thing is that, especially in explanatory videos, they can't be doing too much in the music.
Yeah.
That's the issue I run into the most with jazz, is that like this is gonna have like a sax solo sometime, and they're just going like beast mode, and you just can't have that because it clashes with the vocal track. So there's a very fine line you have to walk, and if you find a perfect match, you can usually get away with a little bit more activity in the song. Like I think Ram Lilac did a video for Team EXE about one frame flicks, and he used the Jesus Molina Night in Tunisia, which is like, there's a lot going on in that song, but it works so well just because of the pacing of the section. Everything's crafted together so well. But when you're going backwards and like you finish the section and then you add the music, it's way harder to get something to like that to fit. So you kind of have to play it a bit safer.
Is there anything else I want to mention with music? It's really hard. You know, if I was working on this like gradually as I would finish a segment, I would try a few songs and then go back to editing. There have been times where like you've left it till the last bit, I've left it till the last bit, and it's just like you helped me a lot in the past with this, but it would just be like a day of just like trying songs for each segment. Nope.
Yeah.
And you know, because I didn't have a collection of songs at the time, I would have to look every single time, and it was like so painful.
It's a bit painful, but it's also so important, and we place so much importance on it, which is why it takes so long.
Yeah.
Even the Fenrir video took me like, honestly, 3 days for music. Hello, Henry. Happy birthday. Everybody say happy birthday, Henry.
Happy birthday, Henry. Sorry for being late, but with part of the video you crossed out 116TE. I kind of covered this in like the bit about like why that scenario was better, because it was harder. Like 116T doesn't quite target the same things as 116 small. You know, you don't have to microcorrect on 116T, you can kind of play it in a very chain heavy way, and it doesn't really translate that well because of that. It's not like the fact that it's easier that makes it worse, it's what it does that makes it worse. I feel like your upload schedule is too frequent. Have you considered composing your own music for videos? I would love to be able to do that, but I have no musical skill at all. I don't, like, I'm so bad at this stuff. I'm bad at telling what mood a song conveys. I think I'm getting better at it, but I have to double check with you because you're really good at it.
I think you're getting much better at it, especially now that you've got a few ones in your back pocket.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? I have so much respect for people who do that though, because like, I think I considered doing that for the Dactyl video ages ago, but it's so much effort. But Awesome Sauce I think does it, and Let Me Know does it.
Yeah.
And it does so much for the video because you can just time everything exactly how you want to.
It's so cool, especially because like you can tell which songs, and I think Lemino picks really good songs for his videos, the ones that he doesn't make. But the tracks that Lemino makes for the videos always hit so hard. Like it's so good. About the mice thing, a lot of the time you do have to try like different mice to figure out like if something works for you or not, but I think the general rule of thumb is like, yeah, you can measure your hand exactly, and you can also like if you're getting like pain or cramping or something like that, that's how I kind of figured out that the G502 might be too big for me actually, because I was getting hand pains when holding it. Lemino, yeah, he's probably composing music.
He probably forgot his password.
Before I end this video off, I want to touch on one last mentality related thing that I'm sure came to mind for a few people after the end of that segment, which is the elements of... so obviously this is like me writing this comment, and yeah, people who were here last time for this is gonna know what's going on. I had my profile picture here, and I'm like, well, that won't work. I need a Valorant profile picture. So I asked you, what is the Valorant e-boy profile picture, and you said type in GOJO into Google. No hesitation. And that is exactly what I was picturing, which is so funny to me.
Genetics. How am I supposed to believe I can get better if I know I'm genetically limited? And in my opinion, this is the worst of...
I had fun with this. I had fun with the edits in this segment generally. What do you all think of my tier list? Do you all agree? I think saying that you're too old to get good is a pretty bad...
A tier. It's real.
It's shut up. And yeah, there's like everything I've talked about in the video. You know what I'm just bad at? You know, sensitivity equals never change sense. I don't track, I play Valorant. I didn't talk about my setup holds me back, but I think it's like, that one can be real. But it's also like not really worth thinking about, I guess. And then I think this is the worst.
Those mental traps I mentioned before. The nature versus nurture debate has been going on for decades, and I get being skeptical that I, a 21-year-old YouTuber, will be able to end it in a single video. That is why I'm not going to try to. My argument instead is that the impacts of genetics on...
Because I think people were probably expecting me to argue that they don't matter, but I can't really know. It's like unknowable. So... yeah, I'm 21. I got a surprising amount of comments saying like, oh my god, you're so old, you're 21. I was like, what the fuck, guys? Apparently, yeah. I don't think so. I feel quite young. Yep, too. This is why I have hand pains and I've quit aiming. I'm too old. 21 days old. 21 is ungive your kid. Yeah, exactly. I thought you're older. I think that's what most people... Every time I make like a birthday, I'm this age post, people are like, what the fuck, I thought you were way older.
I expected the same response here, actually. I feel like you get both sides, but never like, oh, that sounds right.
Yeah. Because it's like, you know, to someone who's 14, anything over like 17 is like, wow, you're like a fossil, ancient. But then if someone is around my age or older, they can see like, you know, the effort I put into my videos and the thought put into my videos and assume it comes from someone with, I don't know, more wisdom than I have. But yeah. People, I think it sounds like wouldn't comment. They would reply to the people going like, what the fuck, you're so old / young. Though.
FPS skills should have zero impact on how you go about improving at them. Regardless of if they are or aren't important, believing that your genetics are impactful can only ever hurt your own growth as a player. I see there being 4 possibilities. 1. Genetics do matter, but you think they don't matter, in which case you improve as much as you can, get a lot better than you are now, and learn a lot about how to improve, which will help you in every other aspect of your life. 2. Genetics do matter, and you think
extra
yours
there
will
with all the
hold you back,
skills.
in which case you will fall into that trap I mentioned earlier of predefining your own skill, even if you still have a lot of room to grow. 3. Your genetics don't matter and you don't think they do, where the first outcome happens again. You get better and develop a better understanding of how you learn skills. And finally, if genetics don't matter but you think yours will hold you back, you'll arbitrarily limit yourself for no reason at all.
Oh, this is funny. Hazel wanted to have a screenshot in the video. There's a joke message. But didn't want to be blurred, but I had to blur it because otherwise it'd be so obvious that like, you know, I was calling out, people would think like, oh, why are you calling out this person or something? So I did like the shittiest blur ever. You can so clearly read that it says Hazel. It's so funny. Yeah. I think the reason why people think I'm older than I am is because most people in this hobby who are my age have like, you know, maybe they've been playing FPS for like 5 years, you know? I've been aim training for 6 and trying to actively get better at FPS games for 11, and that probably gives me a wisdom in this topic that I'm severely lacking in other areas of my life.
No reason at all. I guess there might be another category where genetics do or don't matter, but you think you're God's gift to gaming and end up being overconfident in your own abilities and overcommit to gaming and drop out of school to try and go pro or something. But either way, I think that's dumb. So, moving on. Oh yeah, if it's anything properly sensitive, I just like delete it.
Someone's gonna go through and like unblur the Reddit name just to find
exactly.
who's
Surely
posting
not.
about this.
You can just type in the title if you want to find the post. Do you like the bandit in Valorant? Is that the pistol I was using? If so, I think it's pretty cool. I only used it in like TDM games while getting footage for this video, so my experience with it is like me throwing essentially. But I like it. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm using the 10 signature edition by Pulsar, and it feels really comfortable to grip when I'm playing something like Fortnite, but when I play Valorant, I really struggle with micro adjustments. I think it's okay to change your grip. I do. Like when I go from like tracking to target switching, I have more contact points when I'm target switching, so I can get more stability. Unless you're like in pain or something or not comfortable with your change grip, I think that's fine, to be honest. What's your rank? I have like 100 hours. I had 100 hours in Valorant when I played ranked, and I got to Immortal 1, I think, which I was pretty proud of. I thought I got there pretty quick. And I never played again. There's your answer. Since that video, I've only played to get footage for videos. That's it.
There was one time when you were playing DM to get footage, and then your dad came by. He's like, "Hey, can you give me some item that you have in your apartment?" So you went down, and you're like, "Can you play this Valorant DM for me? I don't want to get banned." And that game sucks. It feels so bad. How do people play that for so many hours? I feel like I'm moving through molasses.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry I put that evil on you. But like if I go AFK in a TDM, I get fucking banned, and then I have to sit on the menu for like 10 minutes waiting so I can get footage for my video. Like, oh my god.
I've never had a game feel less satisfying to get a headshot. Maybe it's because I'm spoiled by Source games.
I think it's kind of bad. I would rather play Counter-Strike for like
CS?
so much longer.
The CS dink noise, that's like genetically engineered in a lab to activate the dopamine receptors.
No, you can't leave. You get a cooldown. At least maybe they just hate me. Maybe they hate me and give me fucking bans. I'm certain I have gotten a cooldown for leaving in TDM. It's because you don't have skins. I do have skins though. I really don't see a reason to assume you will be genetically limited compared to others, especially when we have no idea how close we are to the human limit of mechanics overall. Oh, when I was working on this part, I was flabbergasted by like how much faster Matty's new passive looks. Like this is a good score. This is like barely below my PB on passive, especially when we have no idea how close we are. And then this is like superhuman overall, and have even less idea of how genetics ties into that. Of course, there are exceptions. There are certainly conditions that make improving harder, but even then, I've seen people push through things like hand tremors and end up reaching the highest levels of gameplay. This guy can't even move his arms, and he's crazy. I think this guy's awesome. If you enjoy FPS games and the process of improving at them, I don't see a reason to give up on that just because you think you might be held back by something at some point. The reply I've seen most often to this line of thinking is something akin to, if genetics aren't an important factor in how quickly people improve, then why do some people get better so much faster than others? Pisses me off that I say get better, but I type improve, whatever. There are two explanations that I can think of that to me seem more likely than a purely genetic. A lot of the Reddit posts in this video are real. Like the one guy posting about 1/6 targets small being like, aim training doesn't work. I played this scenario every day, and it's like, okay buddy, you played the same scenario over and over. The first is that seemingly unrelated skills can have a massive impact on how fast someone can learn a new one. If someone played a lot of sports, for example, they have practice processing information and reacting to the things they see. If someone played the piano, they worked on their finger dexterity and so on.
This is so stupid. So when I wrote the line about having played the piano and working on your finger dexterity, I knew there was a piano segment in Lies of P. And I opened up my save and I walk up to the piano and my fucking idiot character like bonk, bonk, bonk hits like 3 keys and then he's done. Like, what the fuck are you doing? And I know he can play the piano. How does he do it? And then I look it up. You have to beat the whole fucking game. And I'm in NG+, I've already beaten the game. But you have to beat the whole game and before NG+, play the piano. So I go through the rest of the game to get my footage. Because I didn't want to grab it from online because it was blurry. So I played the rest of the game for the footage. And it was worth it because I'm like, okay, when I get here, I'll have a song that has the piano in it. So I can sync it up with the piano. And I did. They worked on their finger dexterity and so on. It looks like he's playing the song and I think that's awesome until you fucking told me. No, you'd say it. So you said.
The higher keys are on the right side.
So he's playing it backwards.
It's close enough though. The movements are right.
But I love it. I love how it
they
syncs.
worked
It
on
looks
their
so
finger
good.
dexterity and so on.
Anyway, no regrets. I had a great time playing the game again. I played it again this morning actually. First video game I played post video completion. But yeah, I think in terms of time spent for a single bit of footage, that was the most time. I was totally okay with it.
You wanted to play anyway.
I did want to play it anyway, but it is just fucking funny that like I'm like, oh, I can just play the piano, and then he doesn't know how to play the fucking piano yet. He has to kill the boss for some reason.
On top of direct translations like that though, learning is a skill in of itself.
And here's you going crazy mode in the kitchen with the knife.
Things like that though, learning is a skill in of itself, and anyone who has been good at one thing will have an easier time getting good at another. The next explanation is about technique. Some people just start off with better technique than others.
Did you ever play Dirty Bomb?
I missed it. I'm so sad that I missed it.
But I was really into Counter-Strike when it was popular, and I tried it, and then the week after it was like getting shut down. So it's like, fuck. I want to talk about this.
One thing will have an easy.
I love this transition. The fucking like matching visual elements in footage with transitions is my favorite thing. So the fact that I could do it in and then do it out into the next clip.
The next
felt so cool.
Also, when I was deciding my 10 skills, because I have the 6 at the start and then the 4 there, one of them I considered was OS, because I have like 1,000 hours in Match or something ages ago. And then I asked Laura for the section of the video just so I could see how long I need to fill. And then I see Emmerich is right after that. I'm like, nope, never mind. Not playing OS.
Oh, that was funny. Cooking stream, you'll have to ask June. I can't cook for shit. I'm gonna try because you've been unwell. So
I'm gonna teach Laura how to do a matriciana, which I think
what
is
the
like
fuck is that?
it's a Roman pasta.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I'm gonna try and learn, but I'm not a good cook at all.
It'll be fun.
I know the curved monitors are not as good for FPS/aim, but I always wondered if it was really that bad. But so this is more about panel tech than the actual design of the monitor, in my opinion. I don't think there's anything wrong with a monitor being curved for FPS. I think it might be a little worse because, you know, peripheral vision and whatnot. But the real issue is that they're all using VA panels, which are just terrible. They're really bad. They have horrible motion blur, horrible ghosting, bad response times, and bad latency. They're, in my opinion, unusable. But if you like curved monitors, there are some OLED curved monitors coming out that are actually really good. And there are also some curved monitors that are IPS, and they're also pretty good. So there you go.
I remember in the setup tier list, people had like widescreen monitors.
Yeah.
Did those actually give you more FOV?
They can, yeah. If they're 21:9 resolution and the game supports it, you will have like super wide
That's so good.
resolution. It's really cool.
Hit like the crazy off screens with it.
Well, and then you just like crop the video in post, so it looks like
Yeah.
you're flicking off screen.
But you'd have so much info in your peripherals.
Have you ever played Oz? I have a little, but I like, I don't know, I got really bored because like the maps that are made for beginners are so boring. I hate them.
Yeah.
So I wanted to play the harder ones, but I obviously can't stream 200 BPM or anything, so I just played with Relax and did like tricky aim maps, and I had a good time.
I got a post on my timeline complaining about easy maps like Don't Follow the Song, and it unlocked a memory I had when I was like really into music at the time, and then I was just getting shit on by these easy OS maps. Like, why is there nothing on this beat? But it was kind of cute to see that. There's only so much you can do as a member, though.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, that was my experience with Oz. I had a good time. I enjoyed finding songs that I liked and playing a map in Relax, and I played it for the experience rather than the difficulty, which is a fucking hilarious thing to say about Oz, but it was very chill. It was relaxing, you know? I had a good time with it.
I definitely had way more fun when I just played songs I liked.
Yeah.
That'd be a great stream if you have Enry play for you. It's like, yeah, I'm playing Oath for the first time.
That'd be hilarious, actually. That'd be so good. Video idea, go back to older peripherals like wired Zowie mouse, QCK, mechanical keyboard, and old 240 Hz. That would be interesting. I have wanted to do like a refresh rate comparison for a while, but I actually don't have a lot of old peripherals. And most of the stuff I have is like decent.
I feel like those peripherals would actually be like pretty much fine.
Yeah.
That's a solid list and the stuff that is aged like the best.
If you're using a like Zowie 240 with Diac, you're doing fine. Have you all played Beat Saber? I have. Not a lot actually. I want to get the new Valve headset. I don't know if anyone has any like new info that I've missed about that one, but yeah, I'm waiting for the Steam frame. Thank you. I'm very excited to try that one. Face reveal when? Oh, I want to talk about this actually because I'm not that private about how I look. Maybe I should be. But I was thinking like how much easier it would be to make videos if I could just like let's say right now there's a sentence where like I'm talking about something that doesn't have a direct like visual link in a game, you know, like the thing about Improvement where I played through the first half of Sekiro or whatever, like the first 2 hours. If I just recorded with a face cam on and I could just have my face talking, like holy shit, that saves me so much time. But I also think talking heads approach to video editing can make it really lazy. I don't know if I'd fall into that trap, but I don't know, what would people's reaction to that be? Like it would still be this, but instead of having random bullshit on the screen, I would have me talking, so...
I think it's so abnormal in our space that it would be jarring. But I think if you did it enough, people get used to it.
Yeah.
Like Geller or Folding Ideas.
Yeah, I think, well, Geller's is like so integral to his structure now. We put so much thought into the sets and stuff. Natty does do it in some videos, yeah.
Really? I just don't know that.
But yeah, it's something I've been thinking about. I don't know. It's tricky though, because like, I don't know. I don't think I'm like that. Like
Neutral, I guess.
yeah. No, I'm not purple. Whereas like, yeah, I'm gonna use Geller as an example. His facial hair is so like, I don't know. He does something different with it every video, and it always looks cool. if not cool, then interesting. You blue. I think I'm a little green. if I was any like
What?
non-standard, yeah, I'm like kind of olive. Haven't you seen? I'm like kind of olive. Look at me. I'm a
I've
little
never
green.
noticed your green too.
No, I'm a little olive. Nakey Jakey style. We watched his video the other day.
Oh, that
actually.
was a good
June,
video.
you had never seen any of his videos before, and I showed her the Counter-Strike one, and he loved it. Well, I don't know if he
It was
loved
a really good video.
I thought it was fantastic.
It actually made me reconsider like how I want to do the end of the keyboard video I'm working on. Because that was an ending montage done so well.
Yeah.
And I do think there's a pretty big difference in the montage when it has context
Yeah.
for a video like that.
If you can make it fit in your style, it would be cool. Yeah, I'll think about it for sure. I might try it on my second channel. I don't know. It would be scary, obviously. There's a difference between posting, like, what, 2 selfies on Twitter and, like, recording myself talking. But it would let me upload, like, twice as fast. So that's something to consider too. Unless I end up, like, hyper-focusing on, like, oh, I have to get my hair perfect for this recording session, in which case it would take longer. So.
I think I would.
But yeah, that's been something I've been considering recently. It probably won't happen anytime soon. Go bald. Now that's a way to look visually striking.
You just need to find a PvE game that's your equivalent of gunfire. Because that's like my talking head footage. Starting with gunfire.
Eyes of pee in the background.
There must be like a PvE.
私はグローブ機すべて戦いを見届ける
Sure.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool. I could just do Doom Eternal. Riley had facecam streams? I didn't know that actually. Interesting. Going bald might be a good thing though. Oh, I'm sure it would be a benefit. My hair gets in my face sometimes. And when my hair was like really long, it would actually like piss me off. But it's not that long anymore.
Warm up
Elite
phase
method. He rocks the bald look really well. I think he looks kind of bald.
グローブ機の砦は決して崩れない
Yeah, that's the other thing. I was like,
Three,
when I
2
wash my
one.
hair, it's
Battle start
and during that time, I cannot use my headphones because if I put on my headphones, it'll fuck up my hair. And like you've got ultra light headphones
Yeah.
to not do that.
I bought a COS KPH 45? I can't remember the
グ
number.
ローブ機の決
They're
定
like
に見せつけるわ
on here. But they're honestly
少しだけ楽しま
I
せても
remember
らったわ
somebody recommended like, oh, well, somebody in the Purples chat was like, oh, what should I get if I want an entry-level headphone? It's cheap, it sounds really good. And then somebody recommended these, and I was like, come on. You look up like the COS Porta Pros, you're like, that can't be good. But they're pretty good. COS, KOSS. Porta Pro. And they just look so stupid. But they sound like way better than the price has any right to indicate. And I can put them under my hair pretty easily. They're so trippy.
Good one that doesn't cost a fortune. I am probably not the person to ask for the sorry. I'm not really tapped in, and it'll depend on regional pricing. I would
グロ
look
ーブ機の
for
砦は決して崩れない
focus models with good quality. I feel like backlight streaming will be your friend.
Interesting. Yeah, let's see what that is.
If you're looking cheap, right, that's too much.
Okay, let's go.
いや痛いよコーラップ
But you can get 240 pretty cheap.
What about this monitor? The one that recommended?
Which one?
It was like 240 OLED.
Maybe that. How much was it?
I don't remember. Something like that. I think it's like an AU, which is like 450 USD. But Opera made a video on like a pretty cheap.
グローブ機の決定を完全に見せつけるわ
There was some
破壊の砲声が響き渡る時が来た
What would you advise?
I don't think so.
どれが私でられの
I think at that point,
いつもるくらしいですよ最低
if I played
I think if I would have one that's 4K, 360 hertz, and I don't get that one. I find it less
風が勝利に
fatiguing.
導いてくれる
I don't know if I'm normal. I get like horrible sickness from Diac 2. Explanation is about technique. Some people just use other technique than others. This can be for a variety of reasons. For example, as a kid, you might have had your table too high and we got that shit first try. I was using the tilting the camera upwards. And that was first try, and I watched it back and I was like, this is perfect. How the fuck did you do that?
誰も私にはかなわない私の願い滅びなさい
So it's the idea of like naturally falling into technique.
That came from you. You didn't think about this one.
This comes from an ancient O's player
この
named
景色
Silver,
覚えていてくだ
who
さい
I think he used to have the highest PP score in the game back when it was
こ
like
の
400
気持ちも
something. I had an interview with him a long time ago, and I talked about that idea of
Warm-up
you know,
phase.
genetics and age and his take on it, and or whether or not people, because he was one of the people that like thought a lot about improvement and like
3,
how best to go about it.
2,
And
1.
I asked him like, do you
Battle
think the top players
start.
think about it at all? And he said like, maybe not, but a lot of the reason for that isn't genetics, but just like kind of gravitating towards the correct techniques, not having to think your way. I actually watched a cubing video recently that's kind of in line with this as well, where it was like becoming sub 10 as an adult. And one of the advantages the guy lists is like you have better deductive reasoning and you can leverage that because you're older and you can think more about the improvement process.
Yeah, I'm so much smarter than these fucking 7-year-olds.
But I really like reframing the idea in that way.
Yeah, I think it's
存
really
分に見せつけ
And
る
it's we recontextualize improvement speeds for me. I hope other people aren't
あんた
mention
の
it because
口はそれだけか
it is so much more productive to look at it as like, okay, this person is going to move really fast. What are they doing? You know, it's not a dismissive approach of all the genetically gifted. It is a inclusive approach. And I think it's really clever.
Okay, yeah, the World Record Holder is like
Your arm at the side. Therefore, aiming with only your wrist becomes a habit. This is painful, by the way. I'm not intentionally unlearn before you can integrate your arm into your aim. Someone who never had this ergonomic issue might use their arm the whole time and not have to go through that long learning
ここ
process.
は通さないわ
They will start training that muscle group
この盾
earlier
を越えよう
and
とすれば
progress
後
faster.
悔するだけよ
This can
さ
happen
あ
with any
ど
number
れ
of
が
components for your settings or your
ユニコーンの蹄鉄に踏まれる光栄に思いなさい
what's optimal than someone else's. Having to break strokes is a very common thing. Some people get stuck in the habit of overthinking each one
破壊の構成が響き渡る時が
fix.
ダメに引き込まれる絶望を味わ
I
えば
struggled with this for so long until I think it was my dad who told me, like, you're meeting me. While others didn't realize
I actually had the same experience. There was a period I spent so much time in diabolical DM.
誰も私にはかなわないわ
I would only use element because I just really wanted to get better at tracking. And I was had this issue so bad that somebody I was fighting against noticed it. Not watching my gameplay, saw my laser going too far. You gotta move your mouse.
and it's so crazy how like it's a side quest, but it's like
Ai,
holy
sira,
shit,
nokoranai.
yeah, okay, I'll do it. But yeah, I think it was probably
暗いこれよりグローブの量
see what did my ads will get stuck in the overcome like conscious recognition and focus to fix, while others incredibly realize they should mask less and don't get stuck there at all. That raid in his gameplay is so nice too, where it goes like at him and he like reads that it will and doesn't move his mouse.
毎
And
日モール風をチーズこれより
and and he's like, whose gameplay is this?
咲き誇るただ勝ち続けるのみ 破壊の砲声が響き渡る時が来た
Another Biscuits
Oh,
benchmark
yeah.
win. I love that too. I think it's really hard, but it
勝利の
drills that
天
into
秤
you.
はこちらに傾いた
I don't know, Air Celestial is like a nice teacher being like, hey, you know, you might wanna try approaching it this way. Air Pure is like fucking beating you over the head with the information, like, don't overdose. So it's two approaches, which is why I included them both. Even though someone who doesn't that doesn't mean you can't
Warm up
catch up.
phase
You just have to figure out what those hitches might be for you. I think that
風が勝利に導いてくれる
obvious but somewhat cheesy conclusion I want to draw
Three,
from this is that
two,
a sensible
one.
level of
Battle
self-belief
start.
is essential for improvement. I like having that clip there too, because that is like a Hail Mary
Yeah.
clip, essentially, you know? Like, I'm flicking to some fucking sound I heard from a light popping an invisibility potion off the side of my screen. And it lands, you know? So that was why I put that one. Yeah, we are saying nice to each other, but we're using the same microphone actually. This sensible level of self-belief is too much of it and a lack of it can blind you. This is Robin.
ユニコーンの蹄鉄に踏まれることを光栄に思いなさい
And this wasn't even that long ago. This was like 2024.
決意を存分に見せつけるわ
Games and aim trainers, and it really used with permission of course. I actually posted this segment with footage notes, and I had one like Valorant, no confidence with or something, and she's like, oh, I have put these news for that. To see people ensuring that they will not reach that level simply because they don't believe they could ever get there. Speaking from my own experience, a lot of the time, anything holding myself is that I wasn't investing the time and effort in order to achieve it. And more often than not, the reason I wasn't doing that was because I didn't believe that it was possible. When you believe that whatever score or skill level is achievable, you will put in the effort to make it happen. And it will happen. That hits too. That's quite good. First song I chose for the video, and that's when I was like, okay, yeah, there's something here with these emotional levels. Like, that was really strong. And I actually changed that line as well, and this is why I think having so long to sit with the script really helped. Originally it was like, because you know, the dialogue is self what I did. So it was like, when I changed that, when I, you know, changed my belief, I put in the effort to make it happen, and it happened. But I think flipping it, and getting to go from self-referential to general really makes it harder, and I'm so
風
glad
が勝利に
that,
導いてくれる
I did actually re-record that part. 'Cause I was really
やるように
overall thoughts. Do you want to go?
グローブ説取りでは決して崩れない
What did you think about part 3? Did you think that part 3 dialogue was not just I thought it?
No, I
風を砕いて
I think it's mostly because like for everybody else like
There's gonna be a time where it's sharing but yeah, I think my overall thoughts is that this like this is definitely the best video I've made, and I'm so happy it seems to be connecting with people in the way that I wanted it to. And I've seen a lot of people saying, you know, like I can tell this was written not just about aim training, and I'm so glad that shines through too. Because this really is like general improvement advice. It's everything I've learned from you and other people who have been, you know, really doing like things and trying to learn how to get good.
Defeat
And I think the information in it is so strong that I might honestly make another video that is more general, talking about improvement in the future, of course, and just like really focus in on those mentality focused elements, because I think it is really important. And yeah. So I have some friends need to come vaccine in Japan and I've given them a lot of inspiration to continue. Oh, that's so awesome.